11 now. It's a nervous night for residents of Fair Lawn, New Jersey, wondering if it will happen again. For about a week there, the area's been plagued by loud, booming sounds. Problem is, no one knows where the sound is coming from.
We were looking at each other like, what was this?
Amidst the intense political turmoil, with President Joe Biden's recent denouncement and a wave of international sanctions, Israel has unexpectedly become the center of a remarkable celestial event. Reports from Jerusalem are flooding in, describing sightings of Jesus and a mysterious humming resonating from the heavens. Could this extraordinary phenomenon be a sign of the approaching apocalypse? And why, out of all the cities in the world, has Jerusalem been chosen as the stage for this divine occurrence? We are Jesus' eternal aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.
Residents northeast of Oklahoma City are saying a loud, shrill noise is keeping them up at night.
And the crazy part, no one knows exactly what it is or where it's coming from.
As you've seen in the video, we have shared the greatest commandment of the Lord, a principle that encapsulates the very essence of the Christian faith. It calls us to evoke unconditional love and compassion toward God, while simultaneously encouraging us to extend that same love and care to others, whether they are those closest to us or individuals we encounter in our daily lives. In the heart of Jerusalem, under a sky that seemed to whisper ancient secrets, an unexpected and profound disturbance swept through the air. Suddenly a sound resonated, a sound that defied earthly explanation and left witnesses awestruck. This was no ordinary noise. It was both haunting and majestic, carrying an otherworldly quality that stirred the very depths of the soul. Those who heard it were certain it couldn't have originated from this world, as if the very fabric of reality had shifted momentarily to accommodate its presence. This celestial symphony shattered the calm of Jerusalem, permeating its ancient streets and sacred spaces with an energy that felt divine. It was as though the heavens themselves had opened, revealing a spectacle beyond human comprehension. The sky, once serene, became the stage for a display of awe-inspiring magnitude. It felt as if the celestial realms had converged with the earthly domain in a moment of sublime revelation. Imagine yourself standing on the ancient stones of Jerusalem, the city bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun. The air, once tranquil, suddenly fills with the sound of trumpets. These were not just any trumpets. They heralded something far beyond our understanding, something that spoke directly to the soul of every believer, and even to those who had yet to believe. The sound was a call, a divine message, resonating through the very core of those who heard it, leaving them with a sense of awe and wonder, as if they had just glimpsed a profound, sacred truth. In that moment, it was as if time stood still, and the boundary between the earthly and the divine blurred, offering a glimpse into a reality that is seldom revealed to humankind. This was not just an experience. It was a call to faith, a reminder of the divine presence that surrounds us and the love that God extends to all who seek Him. Here are some comments about people's feelings on this event that I have collected.
Though I don't adhere to any specific religious faith, the sound of the trumpets in Jerusalem deeply moved me. It serves as a powerful reminder that there are forces in this world beyond our full comprehension, yet they still have the ability to resonate with us on a profound and meaningful level. I heard the sound of the trumpets from my apartment in Jerusalem. It sent shivers down my spine and brought tears to my eyes. It's moments like these that remind us of the power and presence of something greater than ourselves.
Amidst the hustle and bustle of a city that has witnessed centuries of history, it is not the soft, melodious chime of bells emanating from ancient temples or churches that fills the air. Instead, the atmosphere is suddenly charged with a different, more powerful sound, one that reverberates through the streets, reaching into the very soul of the city. The sound is unmistakable, distinct, and potent, the enigmatic, commanding blast of a trumpet. Unlike anything heard before, this trumpet's sound is not just a call, it is a proclamation. It echoes with a weight of mystery and grandeur that seems to defy explanation, stirring a complex mix of emotions, both awe and apprehension, in the hearts of those who hear it. The trumpet's sound cuts through the noise of the city, demanding attention, and filling the air with an undeniable sense of anticipation. There is something otherworldly about it, a resonance that transcends the ordinary and hints at the divine. As the trumpet continues its resounding call, it becomes clear that this is no ordinary event. This is a moment that will be etched into the memories of all who experience it, a moment that heralds the arrival of something or someone extraordinary. The sound is so powerful that it seems to vibrate through the very stones of the city, shaking its ancient foundations. It is a sound that heralds not just a king, but the King of glory himself, Jesus Christ. As the trumpet's call reaches its zenith, the skies above the city begin to shift. What was once a clear, golden sky, illuminated by the setting sun, now becomes a canvas for a divine revelation. Out of the heavens, bathed in a light that is both radiant and comforting, emerges a multitude of angels. Their ethereal forms, cloaked in brilliance, outshine even the sun. The light they carry is not of this world. It is a divine light, pure and intense, yet soothing to the eyes and soul. The angels, with their majestic wings and flowing robes, create a breathtaking tableau against the backdrop of the ancient cityscape. Each movement of their wings seems to send ripples of light cascading through the sky, creating an awe-inspiring spectacle that leaves onlookers breathless. The angels are not alone. Accompanying them, a figure emerges from the light, a figure that commands attention and reverence. As this figure takes form, it becomes clear that it is no ordinary being. Bathed in the golden hue of the setting sun, this silhouette is majestic and ethereal, yet undeniably human. It stands out against the sky, its presence both powerful and serene. The figure's countenance is one of both strength and compassion, a combination that draws the gaze of all who behold it. Cloaked in robes that flow gracefully around its form, the figure radiates an aura of timeless wisdom and divine presence. There is an undeniable sense that this figure is not just a messenger, but a manifestation of the divine itself. As the crowd looks on in wonder, many begin to recognize the figure's features that have been depicted in countless religious texts, paintings, and sculptures throughout the centuries. These are the features of Jesus Christ, the revered figure who has been a symbol of hope, salvation, and divine love for millennia. Though the figure does not speak, there is a palpable sense of peace and reassurance that emanates from its presence. It is as though the very air around it is infused with serenity, calming the hearts of those who look upon it. The crowd, which had been filled with anxiety and fear just moments before, now feels a profound sense of calm. The figure's presence alone is enough to comfort them, to fill them with a deep, abiding sense of peace. As the figure hovers in the sky, surrounded by a celestial aura that seems to shimmer and dance with otherworldly light, the crowd below begins to murmur. Whispers and hushed voices spread among them, each person trying to make sense of the miraculous event they are witnessing. Some speak of ancient prophecies, of visions that foretold this very moment. Others talk of divine intervention, of a heavenly response to the city's long-standing conflicts and uncertainties. For many, there is no doubt that they are witnessing the manifestation of Jesus Christ himself, The powerful sound of the trumpet, the appearance of the angels, and the ethereal figure in the sky all point to one thing: the fulfillment of prophecies that have been spoken of for centuries. This is a moment of divine revelation, a moment when the heavens have opened to reveal the glory of God. As the realization spreads through the crowd, there is a collective sense of awe. People fall to their knees in prayer, their hearts overflowing with gratitude and reverence. Tears stream down the faces of those who have long awaited this moment, who have prayed for the day when they would see their Savior with their own eyes. The air is thick with the sound of whispered prayers, of praises lifted up to the heavens. The figure in the sky remains still, its gaze sweeping over the city below. Though no words are spoken, the message is clear. This is a moment of divine grace, a moment when the barriers between heaven and earth have been lifted. The figure's presence is a reminder of God's love and mercy, of His promise to be with His people always, even in the darkest of times. As the sun continues to set, casting a golden glow over the city, the figure slowly begins to fade from view. The angels too begin to ascend, their light growing fainter as they return to the heavens. But the sound of the trumpet lingers, its echo reverberating through the city long after the celestial vision has disappeared. It is a sound that will remain in the hearts of those who heard it, a reminder of the divine presence that visited their city. In the days that follow, the event becomes the subject of countless conversations, sermons, and writings. The story of the trumpet's call and the appearance of the divine figure spreads far and wide, reaching the ears of believers and skeptics alike. For those who witnessed it, the event is more than just a miraculous occurrence. It is a sign of hope, a reminder that even in a world filled with uncertainty, there is a divine plan at work. And so, the city, once fraught with conflict and doubt, now finds itself filled with a renewed sense of faith and purpose. The sound of the trumpet may have faded, but its impact will be felt for generations to come, a lasting testament to the power and glory of the King of Glory.
County, people wondering, what was it?
Yeah, what caused this boom? Was it a force of nature or a different kind?
The celestial event witnessed in Jerusalem, where a figure resembling Jesus Christ appeared alongside the sound of a trumpet, might provoke thoughts of impending apocalyptic events. Within Christian eschatology, such occurrences are deeply significant, often seen as potential harbingers of the second coming of Christ and the culmination of the world as we know it. The book of Revelation, the final book of the New Testament, is filled with vivid descriptions of events that are said to precede Christ's return and the end of the world. One recurring motif in these prophecies is the appearance of celestial figures accompanied by the sound of trumpets. For many believers, the recent sighting in Jerusalem of a figure that closely resembles Jesus, coupled with the resonant sound of a trumpet, could indeed be perceived as the fulfillment of biblical prophecy and a sign that the apocalypse is near. Revelation 1:7 declares, "Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, and all peoples on earth will mourn because of him. So shall it be. Amen." This verse reflects the anticipation of Christ's return, a moment that will be witnessed by all, including those who have opposed him. It's crucial, however, not to confuse the second coming with the rapture. The rapture is described as a moment when Christ will come in the clouds to gather his followers, taking them from the earth to be with him. This event is seen as a private occurrence, witnessed only by those who are saved. In contrast, the second coming is a public event, where every eye will see Jesus. By this time, the tribes of Israel will have undergone a national revival, a detail that is not mentioned concerning the rapture. The prophetic words of Zechariah also play a key role in understanding these events. Zechariah 12:10 prophesies, "And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication. They will look on me, the one they have pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieves for a firstborn son. This passage foretells a time of deep mourning in Israel when they recognized the Messiah they had once rejected. John, the author of Revelation, likely recalled what the angel had told him and the other apostles during Christ's ascension, that Jesus would return in the same manner as he left. According to Acts 1:11, the angel proclaimed, "This same Jesus, who has been taken from you into heaven, will come back in the same way you have seen him go into heaven." In the second coming, Christ will return in the clouds to the Mount of Olives, just as he ascended. Zechariah 14:4 describes this momentous event. On that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem, and the Mount of Olives will be split in two from east to west, forming a great valley, with half of the mountain moving north and half moving south. The physical splitting of the Mount of Olives symbolizes a dramatic and cataclysmic change that will accompany Christ's return. John's anticipation of Jesus' return was filled with joy and hope, prompting him to exclaim, "Even so, Amen." This anticipation is shared by Christians worldwide who eagerly await Christ's return, knowing that when he comes, he will reign over the earth and his followers will reign with him. As 2 Timothy 2:12 reminds believers, "If we endure, we will also reign with him. If we disown him, he will also disown us." Further adding to the significance of the event witnessed in Jerusalem are the trumpet blasts described in Revelation 8. These 7 trumpets, sounded by angels, herald a series of cataclysmic events and divine judgments upon the earth. Each trumpet blast symbolizes God's proclamation of judgment and the initiation of apocalyptic events. Revelation 8:7 details the first trumpet. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on the earth. A third of the earth was burned up, a third of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. These trumpet judgments are interpreted by many as signs of God's impending wrath and the onset of the end times. Revelation 11:15 further emphasizes the eschatological significance of trumpet blasts. The 7th angel sounded his trumpet, and there were loud voices in heaven, which said, "The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever." This verse underscores the belief that these trumpet blasts are heralds of God's ultimate victory and the establishment of his kingdom on earth. While many interpretations of these events are deeply rooted in religious prophecy, others may view the celestial visitation differently. Some might see it as a symbolic representation of hope and renewal, particularly in times of global turmoil and conflict. The figure's resemblance to Jesus Christ could serve as a reminder of the values of compassion, forgiveness, and reconciliation, encouraging people to strive for peace and unity. The choice of Jerusalem as the backdrop for this extraordinary event carries profound symbolic significance, deeply rooted in the city's historical, religious, and geopolitical importance. Jerusalem holds immense religious significance for the 3 major monotheistic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For Jews, Jerusalem is the holiest city, the eternal capital of the Jewish people, with the Western Wall serving as the last remnant of the Second Temple, the holiest site in Judaism. For Christians, Jerusalem is intricately tied to the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, making it a central pilgrimage site and a symbol of divine revelation and redemption. For Muslims, Jerusalem is the 3rd holiest city in Islam, revered as the site of the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, believed to mark the spot where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven during his night journey. Historically, Jerusalem's significance spans millennia, with its foundations built upon layer after layer of civilization. The city has been conquered, destroyed, and rebuilt numerous times, serving as a crossroads for cultures, faiths, and empires. Its strategic location at the heart of the ancient world made it a coveted prize for civilizations including the Canaanites, Israelites, Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, Arabs, Crusaders, Ottomans, and British, each leaving their mark on the city's landscape and identity. In Christian eschatology, Jerusalem is prophesied to play a central role in the unfolding of apocalyptic events. According to biblical prophecy, Jerusalem will be the stage for the end times and the second coming of Christ. The recent events witnessed in the city, therefore, are seen by many as a sign of these prophecies coming to fruition, further intensifying the belief that the apocalypse is near. The final battle between good and evil and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth is a central theme in the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament. This book provides a dramatic and vivid portrayal of end-time events, with Jerusalem featuring prominently in its visions and prophecies. It depicts a series of celestial phenomena, including the rebuilding of the temple, the arrival of the Antichrist, and the ultimate return of Christ to reign from Jerusalem. The choice of Jerusalem as the setting for these apocalyptic events is not merely coincidental, but profoundly symbolic. Jerusalem's significance is magnified by its status as a flashpoint of geopolitical tension and conflict. For decades, the city has been at the heart of intense disputes, primarily between Israel and Palestine, both of whom claim it as their capital. This contested status has led to ongoing conflict and bloodshed, with competing claims to sovereignty and control over Jerusalem's sacred sites. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, along with broader regional tensions in the Middle East, has positioned Jerusalem at the center of global attention and controversy, making it a symbol of division, injustice, and suffering. In recent years, Israel has faced mounting criticism and international scrutiny over its policies and actions in the occupied territories. Human rights organizations and the international community have condemned various aspects of Israeli policy, including the expansion of settlements in the West Bank, the blockade of the Gaza Strip, and the use of force against Palestinian protesters. These actions have led to accusations of human rights abuses and violations of international law, resulting in diplomatic isolation and sanctions from various countries and international bodies, including the United Nations and the European Union. The United States, traditionally a staunch ally of Israel, has also expressed criticism of Israeli policies, particularly under the administrations of Presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden. President Biden has called for a more balanced approach to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, emphasizing the importance of human rights and adherence to international law. This shift in diplomatic tone reflects the growing international concern over the situation in Jerusalem and the broader Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Against this backdrop of historical, religious, and geopolitical significance, the choice of Jerusalem as the setting for a celestial phenomenon, such as a powerful sound or miraculous event, carries profound symbolic meaning. It underscores Jerusalem's role as a spiritual epicenter where the divine intersects with the earthly realm. This city, steeped in religious tradition, serves as a focal point for the hopes and fears of humanity, reflecting its enduring relevance in the collective imagination of believers across various religious traditions. The recent celestial event in Jerusalem, which has captivated global attention, serves as a powerful reminder of this city's spiritual and prophetic significance. News of the phenomenon spread rapidly through traditional media channels, drawing widespread interest and scrutiny. The convergence of religious symbolism, apocalyptic undertones, and contemporary conflict has amplified the event's visibility, capturing the imagination of both believers and skeptics. The advent of digital platforms has further magnified the event's reach. Social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube have facilitated the rapid dissemination of information, with videos, photos, and first-hand accounts circulating widely. The immediacy and global reach of these platforms have fueled public curiosity and speculation, with hashtags related to the event trending worldwide. This digital engagement has sparked extensive discussion among users from diverse backgrounds, contributing to a broader dialogue about the event's significance. As a resident of Jerusalem, I have witnessed firsthand the city's buzz surrounding the celestial event. It is unlike anything I have ever experienced before. The atmosphere is charged with excitement and speculation, with everyone offering their own interpretations of what the phenomenon means. Some view it as a powerful sign of divine presence, while others approach it with a sense of awe and wonder, considering it a significant spiritual experience. From a spiritual seeker's perspective, the convergence of religious symbolism and celestial events raises profound questions about the mysteries of the universe and our place within it. The event challenges our understanding of reality and invites exploration into the nature of the divine and our connection to it. For many, it represents a journey of faith and a quest for deeper understanding. For devout Christians, the event is seen as a miraculous manifestation of God's presence. The appearance of a figure resembling Jesus amidst the celestial phenomenon is interpreted as a sign of Christ's imminent return and a fulfillment of biblical prophecy. This perspective emphasizes the event's significance as a marker of divine intervention and redemption. The event's resonance with themes of prophecy, divine intervention, and existential uncertainty has captured the imagination of not only religious communities, but also secular audiences. It has prompted a wide range of reactions and interpretations from different religious and cultural communities. Within Christianity, responses vary based on theological perspectives and denominational affiliations. Some view the event through the lens of prophecy and divine signs, while others advocate for a cautious approach, emphasizing the need for discernment in interpreting supernatural phenomena. Similarly, responses from non-Christian religious communities have been diverse. Some interpret the event within the framework of their own eschatological narratives or prophetic teachings, drawing parallels with their religious traditions. Others examine the event from a secular perspective, exploring its cultural significance or psychological implications. Throughout history, celestial phenomena and divine visitations have been interpreted as omens or messages from the divine. Ancient civilizations often viewed comets, eclipses, and unusual celestial events as signs of impending change or divine intervention. These interpretations reflect humanity's enduring fascination with the mysteries of the heavens and our quest for understanding the divine. The recent celestial phenomenon in Jerusalem highlights the city's profound symbolic and spiritual significance. It serves as a potent reminder of Jerusalem's role as a focal point for divine encounters and prophetic events. The event's impact extends beyond religious communities, sparking global interest and debate about its meaning and implications. As Jerusalem continues to be a center of conflict and faith, it remains a powerful symbol of the intersection between the divine and the earthly, offering a glimpse into the mysteries of the universe and our place within it. In his Natural History, Book 2, Chapter 23, the Roman scholar Pliny the Elder delves into the nature of comets, noting that although these celestial bodies may be interpreted as prodigies or omens, they are fundamentally different from stars. Comets, he observes, have no true similarities to stars aside from their appearance in the heavens. They are remarkable for their transient and often erratic appearances, yet their constancy in returning at predictable intervals belies their seemingly portentous nature. One of the earliest recorded observations of celestial phenomena with significant historical implications comes from the Greek historian Herodotus. In his Histories, Book 7, Chapter 37, he recounts an eclipse of the sun that occurred in 585 BCE. This eclipse, which happened during the life of the philosopher Thales of Miletus, had a profound effect on the peoples of the time. Herodotus describes how the Medes and the Lydians, who were engaged in battle, were so struck by the sudden and dramatic darkening of the sky that they ceased fighting. This event is notable not only for its astronomical significance, but also for its impact on human behavior, highlighting how celestial events can influence human actions and perceptions. Another significant celestial phenomenon in religious history is the Star of Bethlehem, mentioned in the Gospel of Matthew. According to the biblical account, this star guided the Magi, or wise men, to the birthplace of Jesus Christ. The nature of this star remains a subject of scholarly debate, with theories ranging from a planetary conjunction to a supernova. Regardless of its physical characteristics, the Star of Bethlehem holds profound significance within Christian tradition. It symbolizes divine guidance and intervention in human affairs, reinforcing the belief in the presence of divine signs and their role in the unfolding of sacred history. Various cultures throughout history have their own legends and stories about celestial beings descending from the heavens to interact with mortals. These narratives often carry themes of prophecy, enlightenment, or judgment, reflecting a universal human desire to comprehend the mysteries of existence and the divine. For instance, in Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, Greek gods are depicted as descending from Mount Olympus to influence the lives of mortals. In Book 1, Homer invokes the Muse to sing of the wrath of Achilles and the suffering it caused among the Greeks. This invocation not only sets the stage for the divine interventions and conflicts that follow, but also illustrates the ancient Greek belief in the active involvement of gods in human affairs. Similarly, in the Hindu epic, the Bhagavad Gita, the god Krishna reveals his divine form to the warrior Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In chapter 11, verses 1 to 4, Arjuna witnesses Krishna's cosmic form, which is described as radiant, multi-armed, and adorned with celestial weapons. This revelation serves to inspire and enlighten Arjuna, reinforcing his resolve to fulfill his duty as a warrior. The Bhagavad Gita thus underscores the importance of divine revelation in guiding individuals through moral and existential challenges. In recent times, a remarkable celestial event has captured the attention of believers around the world. A figure resembling Jesus Christ was reportedly seen in the sky above Jerusalem, accompanied by striking celestial phenomena. For Christians, this sighting resonates deeply with themes of eschatology, redemption, and the anticipated second coming of Christ as prophesied in the Bible. The belief in the incarnation of Jesus, his death and resurrection, and his promise to return at the end of time are central to Christian theology. Thus, the appearance of a figure resembling Jesus in the sky is seen as a powerful affirmation of these beliefs and a sign of the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. This event also holds significance for other faith traditions. In Islam, Jesus, known as Isa, is regarded as a prophet who will play a crucial role in the end times. Islamic prophecy foresees the return of Jesus as a righteous leader who will defeat the Antichrist and establish peace and justice on earth. Consequently, the sighting of a figure resembling Jesus in Jerusalem could spark discussions within Islamic theology about its eschatological implications and the role of Jesus in Islamic tradition. Jewish communities, too, have been influenced by this phenomenon. Although Judaism does not recognize Jesus as the Messiah, the event has prompted discussions about the role of Jerusalem in Jewish prophecy and the enduring hope for the coming of the Messiah. In response to the sighting, synagogues have organized study sessions and lectures to explore the theological implications within the context of Jewish tradition. Adherents of other faith traditions, such as Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, may interpret the event through the lens of their own religious teachings and scriptures. While these interpretations may vary widely, they often reflect a shared reverence for the divine and an acknowledgement of the interconnectedness of all religious traditions. The recent celestial phenomenon witnessed in Jerusalem has also prompted scientific inquiry into possible explanations. While some interpret the event through a religious or spiritual lens, scientists offer alternative perspectives based on empirical observation and rational analysis. One possible explanation involves optical illusions or atmospheric phenomena. Conditions such as temperature inversions, atmospheric refraction, and specific cloud formations can create visual distortions that give the impression of figures or objects in the sky. These phenomena, though natural and explainable through science, can appear mysterious or inexplicable, especially when viewed in a context of heightened religious significance. Additionally, advances in technology have enabled the creation of sophisticated holographic projections and visual effects. Large-scale projections have been used for entertainment and artistic purposes, simulating realistic images in the sky. Such technology raises the possibility that the recent sighting could have involved a high-tech visual effect, contributing to the complexity of interpreting the event. In conclusion, the appearance of a figure resembling Jesus Christ in the sky above Jerusalem is a phenomenon that straddles the realms of religious belief and scientific inquiry. It evokes deep theological implications for various faith traditions, each interpreting the event through their unique perspectives. Whether viewed as a divine sign, a prophetic revelation, or a natural occurrence, the event highlights the enduring human quest to understand the mysteries of existence and the divine, reflecting both our reverence for the sacred and our pursuit of rational explanations.
Welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a truly extraordinary story that is capturing the attention of the world. In Jerusalem, rumors are spreading like wildfire. The long-lost Ark of the Covenant might have been discovered within the ancient city's confines. But that's not all. There are also reports of sightings of Jesus Christ and an enigmatic, powerful humming sound emanating from the skies above. These events are sparking intense speculation and raising profound questions about their significance. Could these phenomena be interconnected, signaling the approaching apocalypse? Stick around until the end of the video to find out more about these incredible events. Before we dive into the main content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. Your support means a lot to us. Feel free to leave your comments with feedback on the content and any topics you're interested in. Have a great day. Jerusalem, the very name evokes images of ancient walls, bustling marketplaces, and a skyline dominated by golden domes and spires. This city, nestled in the Judean mountains, pulsates with an energy unlike any other. Carved by millennia of history, Jerusalem is a tapestry woven from the threads of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For Jews, Jerusalem is the heart of their faith, the eternal city where King David established his capital and Solomon built the first temple. The Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple's retaining wall, is the holiest site in Judaism, a place of prayer and pilgrimage. For Christians, Jerusalem is the city where Jesus Christ preached, performed miracles, and ultimately died on the cross. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, a magnificent basilica, is believed to encompass the site of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. Muslims hold Jerusalem in high esteem as well. The Dome of the Rock, a shimmering golden structure, sits on the Temple Mount, believed to be the location where Abraham prepared to sacrifice his son Ishmael. This sacred plateau is also where Muslims believe the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. Jerusalem's significance transcends its religious tapestry. It's a vibrant, modern city with a thriving art scene, bustling markets overflowing with spices and crafts, and a rich culinary tradition. Walk down any street, and you'll encounter a kaleidoscope of languages, ethnicities, and cultures. Everywhere you turn, history unfolds before you, making Jerusalem a living museum. The Ark of the Covenant, a gilded wooden chest enshrined in religious lore, has captivated imaginations for millennia. Described in the Hebrew Bible as the most sacred relic of the Israelites, It housed the stone tablets upon which the 10 Commandments, the foundational laws of their covenant with God, were inscribed. According to the book of Exodus, the ark wasn't just a repository, it was a portable sanctuary for the divine presence. Crafted from acacia wood, overlaid with pure gold, it was topped by a mercy seat, a lid adorned with 2 golden cherubim winged angelic beings facing each other. This elaborate design underscored the ark's significance as a conduit between humanity and the divine. The Bible details the ark's pivotal role in the Israelites' journey. It served as a beacon during their exodus from Egypt, miraculously parting the Red Sea to grant them passage. Once settled in Canaan, the ark resided within the most sacred chamber of the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary, and later within the Temple of Jerusalem, a permanent structure dedicated to God. However, the ark's story takes a dramatic turn after the destruction of the first temple by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. The biblical account remains silent on its fate, fueling centuries of speculation and myth-making. Theories about the ark's whereabouts are as numerous as they are diverse. Some believe it was destroyed alongside the temple, its sacred contents lost forever. Others posit it was spirited away by the conquering Babylonians, perhaps even becoming a trophy in a foreign temple. Intriguingly, some Jewish traditions suggest the ark was divinely hidden before the temple's destruction, a protective measure to prevent its desecration. This belief has fueled a fervent hope for its rediscovery, potentially heralding the arrival of the Messiah. The ark's allure extends far beyond the confines of the Bible. It has become a potent symbol in various cultures and faiths, often intertwined with fantastical elements. Ethiopian Orthodox Christians believe the ark resides in Aksum, an ancient city in Ethiopia, safeguarded by their church. Legends abound about its capture by King Menelik I, the son of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. In the realm of fiction, the ark has become a recurring motif, often portrayed as possessing immense power. The Indiana Jones movies and countless adventure novels depict daring quests to recover the lost ark, usually from the clutches of evil forces. These portrayals, while exciting, highlight the ark's enduring mystique and the human fascination with its mystery. In modern times, the Ark of the Covenant continues to inspire intrigue and speculation. Archaeologists, theologians, and adventurers alike have embarked on quests to locate it, spurred by a mixture of faith, curiosity, and the hope of uncovering one of history's most elusive treasures. The search for the Ark touches on deep spiritual and cultural chords, reflecting humanity's perennial quest for meaning and connection with the divine. Jerusalem, with its rich historical and religious significance, remains at the center of these quests. The city's layered past and its role as a focal point for the 3 major Abrahamic religions make it a natural epicenter for such mysteries. As rumors of the Ark's possible discovery resurface, they ignite both hope and controversy. Could the Ark truly be hidden within the city's ancient confines, waiting to be revealed at a moment of divine choosing? This question intertwines with contemporary sightings and events that stir the collective imagination. Recent reports from Jerusalem have claimed sightings of Jesus Christ and an enigmatic, powerful humming sound emanating from the skies. These phenomena have sparked intense speculation and raised profound questions about their significance. Are these events interconnected, signaling a new chapter in Jerusalem's storied history, or perhaps even the approaching apocalypse? As the world watches, Jerusalem continues to be a city where the past and present collide in powerful and often unexpected ways. Its streets, temples, and relics hold stories that span millennia, echoing with the footsteps of prophets, kings, and pilgrims. The mystery of the Ark of the Covenant is but one thread in the rich tapestry of Jerusalem's heritage, a symbol of the divine connection that has drawn people to this ancient city for thousands of years. The enduring fascination with the Ark of the Covenant's potential power and mystery continues to captivate minds across the globe. The whispers began as a tremor, a murmur snaking through the cobbled streets of Jerusalem. The Ark of the Covenant, the holiest relic of Judaism, the fabled chest said to house the 10 Commandments, whispered to be lost for millennia, had been found. Hidden deep within the ancient city itself, a secret chamber had been unearthed, yielding its most sacred treasure. The rumor, as rumors do, spread like wildfire across continents through hushed conversations in synagogues and excited debates in online forums. Believers felt a surge of hope, a tremor of the divine stirring within them. Could it be true? Could the Ark, the tangible symbol of their covenant with God, be unearthed after centuries of speculation and longing? Skeptics, ever watchful, approached with a mix of amusement and caution. History was rife with hoaxes, with artifacts misidentified, with wishful thinking masquerading as archaeological fact. In Jerusalem itself, the air crackled with anticipation. News outlets buzzed, archaeologists scrambled, and religious leaders issued cautious statements. The Temple Mount, the holiest site in Judaism, became the epicenter of the storm. Was it here, beneath the golden dome of the rock, that the Ark lay hidden? Or perhaps buried deeper in the labyrinthine tunnels that snaked beneath the city, a forgotten chamber whispering secrets to those who dared to listen? The Israeli government, ever mindful of the delicate balance in Jerusalem, a city sacred to three major religions, moved with measured steps. Independent archaeologists, a diverse group representing various faiths and backgrounds, were called upon. The world watched with bated breath as teams, clad in dust masks and armed with trowels and high-tech scanners, descended upon the city. Days bled into weeks. Frustration mingled with hope as each unearthed fragment of pottery, each cleared section of wall, yielded no ark. Skeptics grew louder, their voices a chorus of, "We told you so." Believers, though shaken, clung to the possibility. Perhaps the chamber was deeper. Perhaps the clues were yet to be deciphered. The weight of history, the sheer improbability of the discovery, hung heavy in the air. Yet amidst the growing skepticism, another discovery emerged. An inscription, faded but legible, carved onto a newly unearthed stone tablet, spoke of a hidden chamber, a repository of the sacred, its location veiled in cryptic language. The inscription, authenticated by leading epigraphists, sent a jolt of renewed excitement. This wasn't a random rumor anymore. Here was a tangible piece of evidence, a historical whisper hinting at a truth waiting to be unearthed. The search intensified. Armed with the inscription's clues, archaeologists meticulously scanned the Temple Mount and its surroundings. Days turned into weeks, weeks then months. The inscription, while offering a tantalizing glimpse, remained frustratingly vague. Was it metaphorical, a symbolic representation of a spiritual connection, or did it point to a literal location, a hidden passage waiting to be revealed? Meanwhile, the world watched. News channels broadcasted live updates. Social media buzzed with speculation, and religious leaders across faiths offered their interpretations. For some, the Ark was a potent symbol of God's presence on earth. For others, it was a historical artifact of immense significance. And for many, it was a question mark, a mystery that transcended religious boundaries, a window into the past with the potential to rewrite history. As described in the book of Exodus, after the liberation from slavery in Egypt, the Israelites embarked on a journey through the wilderness towards the Promised Land. Central to their journey was the Ark of the Covenant, a sacred chest containing the tablets of the Ten Commandments, and regarded as the symbol of God's presence among them. The Ark was constructed according to precise instructions given by God to Moses on Mount Sinai. Made of acacia wood overlaid with pure gold, it was adorned with cherubim and served as the holiest object in the Israelite tabernacle, the portable sanctuary that accompanied them in their travels. As the Israelites journeyed through the wilderness, the Ark led the way, carried by priests and surrounded by a divine aura. It was more than a mere artifact. It was a beacon of faith, a tangible manifestation of the divine covenant. The Ark's presence assured the Israelites of God's guidance and protection, parting the Jordan River for them to cross into Canaan and bringing down the walls of Jericho. However, the Ark's journey took a dramatic turn after the destruction of the first temple by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. The biblical account falls silent on its fate, leaving a void filled with centuries of speculation and myth-making. Some believe it was destroyed alongside the temple, its sacred contents lost forever. Others posit it was spirited away by the conquering Babylonians. perhaps even becoming a trophy in a foreign temple. Intriguingly, some Jewish traditions suggest the ark was divinely hidden before the temple's destruction, a protective measure to prevent its desecration. This belief has fueled a fervent hope for its rediscovery, potentially heralding the arrival of the Messiah. The allure of the ark extends far beyond religious texts. It has become a potent symbol in various cultures and faiths, often intertwined with fantastical elements. Ethiopian Orthodox Christians believe the ark resides in Aksum, an ancient city in Ethiopia, safeguarded by their church. Legends abound about its capture by King Menelik Bramras, the son of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. In the realm of fiction, the ark has become a recurring motif, often portrayed as possessing immense power. The Indiana Jones movies and countless adventure novels depict daring quests to recover the lost ark, usually from the clutches of evil forces. These portrayals, while exciting, highlight the ark's enduring mystique and the human fascination with its mystery. In modern times, the Ark of the Covenant continues to inspire intrigue and speculation. Archaeologists, theologians, and adventurers alike have embarked on quests to locate it, spurred by a mixture of faith, curiosity, and the hope of uncovering one of history's most elusive treasures. The search for the Ark touches on deep spiritual and cultural chords, reflecting humanity's perennial quest for meaning and connection with the divine. The Ark of the Covenant, a sacred chest built by the Israelites under God's instructions, held profound significance for the people of Israel. Buried by priests from the tribe of Levi, the Ark was positioned at the front of the procession, symbolizing God leading his people forward. Whenever the Israelites camped, the tabernacle, including the Ark, was set up in the center of the camp, signifying God's dwelling among them. The presence of the Ark provided the Israelites with a tangible reminder of God's faithfulness and guidance throughout their journey. It served as a source of comfort and reassurance in the face of challenges such as scarcity of food and water, attacks from hostile nations, and internal strife. In the biblical narrative found in the book of Joshua, the Israelites, under the leadership of Joshua, were poised to enter the promised land after wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. As they approached the Jordan River, which marked the boundary of the land that God had promised to give them, they faced a formidable obstacle. The river was at flood stage, making it impassable. However, God instructed Joshua to have the priests carry the Ark of the Covenant ahead of the people and to step into the waters of the Jordan. Joshua relayed this command to the people, emphasizing the importance of following the Ark as it represented the presence of God among them. As the priests carrying the Ark stepped into the waters of the Jordan River, something miraculous occurred. The moment their feet touched the water, the flow of the river stopped, piling up in a heap upstream. The waters below ceased flowing, creating a dry path for the Israelites to cross on dry ground. The entire nation of Israel, along with their livestock and possessions, crossed the Jordan River on dry land, following the priests who bore the Ark. Once everyone had safely crossed, Joshua instructed 12 men, one from each tribe, to retrieve stones from the middle of the Jordan River where the priests had stood. These stones were used to build a memorial at their campsite to commemorate the miraculous crossing. This event not only demonstrated God's faithfulness in fulfilling his promise to bring the Israelites into the promised land, but also affirmed Joshua's leadership and the significance of the Ark of the Covenant as a symbol of God's presence among his people. It was a powerful display of divine intervention, showcasing God's ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles on behalf of his chosen people. Furthermore, the story of the Ark's role in the conquest of Jericho is found in the book of Joshua, chapter 6. After the death of Moses, Joshua, his successor, led the Israelites across the Jordan River into the Promised Land. Their first major conquest was the city of Jericho, a fortified city with high walls. The city was heavily guarded, making it seemingly impenetrable. Before the attack on Jericho, Joshua received instructions from God. The plan was unconventional but required faith and obedience from the Israelites. They were to march around the city once a day for 6 days with the Ark of the Covenant carried by priests at the forefront of the procession. 7 priests blew trumpets made from ram's horns as they marched, but the people were commanded to remain silent. On the 7th day, They were to march around the city 7 times, and the priests were to blow the trumpets continuously. Then when Joshua gave the signal, the entire army was to shout loudly. This was to be the signal for God's intervention. The Israelites followed these instructions meticulously. They marched around the city as commanded, with the ark leading the way. On the 7th day, after the 7th circuit, when the priests blew the trumpets and Joshua gave the command, the people let out a great shout. Miraculously, the walls of Jericho collapsed, crumbling to the ground. The Israelites rushed into the city and conquered it. They destroyed everything in it, sparing only Rahab and her family, who had helped the Israelite spies earlier. The city was devoted to destruction as an offering to God. Based on these stories, it was understandable that for religious believers in the holiest city on earth, the ark symbolized God's presence. It also reminded them of their commitment and devotion to God, urging them to have strong faith in Him, especially when they were living in a city overwhelmed with geopolitical conflict. The significance of the ark's discovery, or rumors thereof, had the potential to shake the city further. The discovery of the Ark of the Covenant was not the only phenomenon reported. There were also claims of miraculous sightings of Jesus Christ in Jerusalem. Some proclaimed that Jesus walked the streets and appeared in the sky once more. The first reports came from the margins of society. A beggar woman swore that a gentle hand had steadied her as she stumbled, leaving a warmth that lingered long after the coins clinked in her cup. A weary soldier reported a similar experience. These accounts, though seemingly unrelated, added to the city's sense of awe and trepidation. They reflected a longing for divine intervention and reassurance in times of uncertainty and turmoil. Haunted by the horrors of war, an old soldier spoke of encountering a man with eyes that held the vastness of the desert, whose mere touch seemed to calm his soul. Skepticism ran rampant as people wondered whether these experiences were products of wishful thinking, religious fervor, or the desert sun playing tricks on weary minds. Yet, more accounts began to emerge. A baker, known for his gruff demeanor and even gruffer bread, returned from the market profoundly changed. Tears welled in his eyes as he recounted meeting a man with calloused hands, hands accustomed to kneading dough, who had helped him with a heavy load. The man's words had soothed a deep ache in his heart. This baker, who scoffed at superstition, found himself inexplicably lighter, with a renewed joy in his craft. The city held its breath. Rumors that had been confined to hushed conversations now roared through bustling alleyways and echoed in ancient courtyards. Curiosity, tinged with a sliver of hope, drew people in. A young woman, ostracized for her past, found a single perfect rose on her doorstep, a silent offering of forgiveness. Children playing near the Wailing Wall swore they saw a figure silhouetted against the setting sun, his hands outstretched in a silent blessing. Religious authorities were the last to acknowledge these whispers, navigating the thin line between faith and fanaticism with practiced caution. Yet even the most hardened clerics couldn't ignore the growing fervor. The city, once jaded and weary, pulsated with renewed energy. Kindness bloomed in unexpected corners, and long-held grudges softened, replaced by tentative peace. Was this the work of a mere man, a charismatic con artist preying on the vulnerable, or was something more profound unfolding in their midst? One evening, as the city bathed in the golden glow of twilight, a commotion erupted near the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. A crowd, a kaleidoscope of faces etched with awe and disbelief, parted to reveal a man appearing in the sky. He was tall and lean, with hair the color of burnished wheat and eyes that held the wisdom of ages. His presence commanded attention, and the murmur that rippled through the crowd was a single word: Yeshua, the Hebrew name for Jesus. He spoke softly, his voice a balm to the city's weary soul. He didn't preach fire and brimstone nor promise a world free of suffering. Instead, he spoke of love, forgiveness, and the strength that resided within each individual to overcome darkness. He spoke of hope, a flickering ember fanned into a roaring flame. His message wasn't new, but its delivery resonated with a power that transcended time and circumstance. It was a sound both haunting and majestic, carrying an otherworldly quality that stirred the depths of the soul. Many who experienced it swore it could not be of this earth, as if the very fabric of reality had momentarily shifted to accommodate its presence. This celestial symphony ruptured the calm of Jerusalem, permeating its ancient streets and sacred spaces with an energy that felt divine. It was as though the heavens themselves had opened, unveiling a spectacle beyond human comprehension. Imagine standing upon the ancient stones of Jerusalem, the city bathed in the golden hue of the setting sun, only for the air to be suddenly filled with the sound of trumpets. Not just any trumpets, but those heralding something beyond our understanding. Something that speaks directly to the soul of every believer, and even to those yet to believe. As abruptly as he appeared, he vanished, but the echo of his words lingered long after he was gone. Was it truly Jesus, a divine manifestation in the heart of a turbulent city? Or was it a catalyst, a figure who sparked change within the hearts and minds of the people themselves? The answer, perhaps, wasn't as important as the change itself. Jerusalem, a city steeped in history and conflict, found itself on the precipice of something new. The air crackled with hesitant optimism, a belief that even in the face of hardship, kindness could prevail. Skeptics remained, of course, but even they couldn't deny the intangible shift. The city, once resigned to its fate, now held the potential for something brighter, something imbued with the faint scent of miracles and the quiet murmur of hope. While some dismissed these sightings as mere hallucinations or hoaxes, others viewed them as evidence of a divine presence in the city. The possibility of Jesus Christ's return has long been a subject of fascination and debate among religious scholars and believers, and these recent sightings have only fueled the conversation. The simultaneous occurrences of the rumored discovery of the Ark of the Covenant, sightings of Jesus Christ, and the enigmatic humming in Jerusalem have ignited intense speculation about their interconnection.
That you're seeing right there of a cloud yesterday that some sent to us and that we then put on our webpage has gone viral. A lot of people saying it resembles an angel.
Recently, a miracle has unfolded in Jerusalem, capturing the hearts and spirits of those present. Witness the incredible signs of God at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where Jesus' presence is profoundly felt. This powerful moment, marked by joy and tears, quickly spread throughout the basilica from the candles lit by the Greek patriarch. Known also as the Church of the Resurrection, this sacred site stands as a beacon of spiritual devotion and historical reverence in the heart of Jerusalem's old city. What wonders have we witnessed inside this holy church? What mysteries does the Church of the Holy Sepulchre hold? Join us as we explore these divine revelations. We are Jesus' eternal aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.
People think it's an unusual cloud formation. Others see a greater mystery.
Oh, Jesus. Look at the face of Jesus. You see it?
A miracle at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre might shock religious people worldwide, possibly serving as hard evidence of the resurrection. Recently, when scientists opened what is believed to be Christ's tomb in Jerusalem, rumors spread that they immediately smelled a sweet aroma reminiscent of the scents associated with Marian and saintly apparitions. Although unconfirmed, something similar was reported when the tomb was last opened in 1809. Additionally, it is alleged that some measuring instruments malfunctioned or stopped working due to electromagnetic disturbances when placed on the stone where Christ's body was believed to have rested. While the scent rumors remain uncertain, scientists are less hesitant about the confirmed electromagnetic phenomena. One authorized scientist verified the disturbances, and Antonia Maru, the head of the building and construction team, stated that it is hard to imagine anyone risking their reputation for a publicity stunt. Moreover, a journalist testifies to the scientists' surprise during the opening of the slab. They had hoped that the grave would be much lower than it was. Previous analyses with instruments seemed to have been distorted by an electromagnetic disturbance. God's miracles did not stop there. Every year on Holy Saturday, a miracle takes place in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. The miracle of the Holy Fire has occurred at the same time, in the same manner, and in the same place every single year for centuries. It is said that on Holy Saturday, the day before Easter Sunday, a miraculous event known as the Holy Fire Ceremony occurs in the church. This tradition has been celebrated for centuries and is considered one of the most extraordinary manifestations of divine presence. According to believers, the miracle of the Holy Fire begins when the Greek Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem enters the edicule, a small chapel within the church that is said to enclose the tomb of Jesus Christ. The Patriarch enters alone and prays in complete darkness, asking for the descent of the Holy Fire. Witnesses gather outside the edicule, anxiously awaiting the miraculous event. Suddenly, without any apparent source, flames ignite from the Patriarch's hands, symbolizing the descent of the Holy Fire. The Patriarch then lights candles and shares the Holy Fire with the faithful, who use it to light their own candles and lanterns. The flame is believed to be miraculously cool to the touch and to produce healing properties. The Holy Fire is considered a symbol of Jesus Christ's resurrection and a sign of God's presence among his followers. Pilgrims from around the world travel to Jerusalem to witness this extraordinary event and receive the blessing of the Holy Fire. The continuity and consistency of the Holy Fire miracle have baffled scientists and skeptics over the years, with many unable to provide a rational explanation for its occurrence. Despite attempts to debunk or replicate the miracle, it remains a mystery that continues to inspire awe and devotion among believers. No other miracle is known to occur so regularly and so steadily over time. The Holy Fire originates as a divine light that manifests on the marble slab covering the stone bed upon which Jesus' body was placed for burial. Though there are various experiences by different people at various times in history, it then changes to a fire that does not behave as normal fire. Though it can be transferred from candle to candle, for a time, it will not burn or damage what it touches. Other phenomena which have been witnessed before the manifestation of the Holy Fire include lightning-like flashes above the shrine of the tomb of Christ and swiftly moving balls of light. Beginning in the afternoon of Holy Friday, pilgrims wait in anticipation for the miracle, camped as close to the Holy Sepulchre as possible. Starting at around 11 a.m. in the morning, the Christian Arabs chant traditional hymns in a loud voice. These chants date back to the Turkish occupation of Jerusalem in the 13th century, a period in which the Christians were not allowed to chant anywhere but in the churches. They chant at the top of their voices, accompanied by the sound of drums. The drummers sit on the shoulders of others, who dance vigorously around the Holy Sepulchre. But at 1 or 2 p.m., the chants fade out, and then there is a tense silence charged with the anticipation of the great demonstration of God's power for all to witness. Shortly thereafter, a delegation from the local authorities elbows its way through the crowd. At the time of the Turkish occupation of Palestine, they were Muslim Turks. Today they are Israelis. Their function is to represent the Romans at the time of Jesus. The Gospels speak of the Romans who went to seal the tomb of Jesus so that his disciples would not steal his body and claim he had risen. In the same way, the Israeli authorities on this Holy Saturday come and seal the tomb with wax. Before they seal the door, they follow the custom of entering the tomb to check for any hidden source of fire, which would make a fraud of the miracle. You might wonder how the miracle occurs. Listen to this account of Patriarch Diodorus, who was patriarch from 1981 to 2000. Normally, the miracle happens immediately after I have said the prayers. From the core of the very stone on which Jesus lay, an indefinable light begins to shine. It usually has a blue tint, but the color can change, and it cannot be described in human terms. This light rises up from the stone as a mist, and each year it behaves differently. Sometimes it covers the stone like a mist, sometimes it makes a column of light, and sometimes it spreads throughout the church. This light does not burn. I have never had my beard or hair burned in all the 16 years I have been patriarch and seen the miracle. As the light rises, it ignites the candles of the faithful waiting in the church. They then pass the holy fire to each other, and within moments, the whole church is alight with the flames. The holy fire is considered a direct blessing from God, a reminder of Jesus Christ's resurrection, and a testimony to the continued divine presence in the world. This annual miracle, witnessed by thousands, continues to inspire faith and devotion, serving as a powerful symbol of the enduring mystery and miracle of the resurrection. Light pours forth from the stone, usually with a blue tint, though its color can change and take on many different hues. It is indescribable in human terms. The light rises from the stone as mist might rise from a lake, almost appearing as if the stone is covered by a moist cloud, but it is light. Each year, this light behaves differently. Sometimes it covers just the stone, while other times it illuminates the entire sepulchre so that people standing outside the tomb, looking in, see it filled with light. This light does not burn. In the 16 years I have been patriarch in Jerusalem and received the holy fire, I have never had my beard burnt. The light has a different consistency from normal fire that burns in an oil lamp. At a certain point, the light rises and forms a column in which the fire is of a different nature, allowing me to light my candles from it. Once I have received the flame on my candles, I go out and give the fire first to the Armenian Patriarch and then to the Coptic Patriarch. The phenomenon of the holy fire, revered by many as a miracle, is observed annually in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. This event, enveloped in profound religious significance, unfolds when the Greek Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem enters the Holy Edicule, the small chapel within the church believed to house the tomb of Jesus Christ. As the Patriarch emerges with 2 candles brightly lit, a resonant cheer of jubilation fills the church. The miracle, many claim, extends beyond the tomb itself. Witnesses report a blue light appearing and igniting candles held by the faithful, often without any direct contact. This spontaneous ignition, attested by numerous signed testimonies from pilgrims, speaks to the awe-inspiring nature of the event. Those who experience the holy fire firsthand, either by having their candles lit or by seeing the mysterious blue light, often leave Jerusalem profoundly changed and reaffirmed in their faith. It is emphasized that true worship must be in spirit and truth, as the Bible says, and that salvation comes through faith in Jesus Christ, not through rituals or idols. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, one of Christianity's most significant sites, is traditionally believed to be the location of Jesus Christ's crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. However, the authenticity of this site is sometimes questioned. The church's unique and complex control arrangement, known as the status quo, reflects the delicate balance of authority shared among several Christian denominations. This arrangement, established in 1757, ensures that the various sects coexist and maintain their respective territories within the church, symbolized by the immovable ladder, which has remained in place for centuries due to the status quo agreement. The church's history is as intricate as its control structure. According to traditional accounts, it was constructed in the 4th century CE after Roman Emperor Constantine the Great legalized Christianity. Constantine sent his mother Helena to locate Jesus' tomb in Jerusalem. Helena's search led to the discovery of the true cross at a site near a tomb previously beneath a pagan temple dedicated to Jupiter or Venus. The temple was demolished, revealing the rock-cut tomb, which was presumed to be Jesus's. Consequently, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was built over this site and consecrated in 335 CE. Initially called the Church of the Anastasis, meaning resurrection, it has endured various destructions and reconstructions over the centuries. The church has faced numerous calamities, including earthquakes and deliberate attacks. In 614 CE, the Sassanid Empire, the then incarnation of the Persian Empire, destroyed the church in a fire. It was rebuilt 16 years later in 630 CE. The Fatimid Caliphate ordered its destruction again in the 11th century, targeting Jewish and Christian holy sites throughout the region. Each time, the church was rebuilt, expanded, and renovated, a testament to the enduring significance of this sacred site. The latest renovations occurred in 2022, continuing the long history of preserving the church for future generations. Despite the church's revered status, other locations have been proposed as the possible tomb of Jesus. Among these, the Talpiot tomb, discovered in the 1980s in Jerusalem's Talpiot neighborhood, stands out. This tomb, labeled Yeshua bar Yosef, Jesus son of Joseph, sparked considerable debate. However, most scholars agree that this is a coincidence, given that Jesus was a common name at the time, and the tomb likely belonged to a wealthy Judean family. In conclusion, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre holds a profound place in Christian tradition as the site of Jesus' crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. The annual Holy Fire ceremony adds to its mystical and spiritual allure, drawing pilgrims from around the world. While alternative tomb sites exist, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre remains the most venerated location, embodying centuries of faith, history, and devotion. The Church's resilience through countless adversities underscores its importance, continuing to inspire and reaffirm the faith of millions. Another significant site traditionally associated with the burial of Jesus is the Garden Tomb, discovered in the 19th century in Jerusalem. This site is seen by some as a more authentic location for Jesus' tomb due to its serene garden setting and the fact that it fits certain biblical descriptions. However, it lacks the historical continuity and traditional reverence that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre commands. Nonetheless, the Garden Tomb remains an important pilgrimage site, offering a peaceful alternative for reflection and worship. The Garden Tomb, which predates the time of Jesus, presents some challenges regarding its location and historical context. Despite these issues, it is accepted by certain Christian denominations, particularly Mormons and some evangelical Protestants, as the authentic tomb of Jesus. Some academics also consider it a likely location for Jesus' burial. However, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre remains the most widely accepted site, maintaining this status for over 600 years. The Garden Tomb does have some evidence supporting its identification as Jesus' burial place. According to the New Testament, Jesus was crucified and buried outside the walls of Jerusalem. This assertion aligns with ancient burial customs, where interments typically occurred outside city boundaries. Crucifixion, a brutal form of execution used by the Roman Empire for severe criminals, also took place outside city walls to serve as a public deterrent. Jesus is believed to have been crucified at Golgotha, a site located outside Jerusalem's walls. Following his crucifixion, Jesus was buried in a tomb situated outside the city, a site now known as the Garden Tomb. This location has significant religious importance for Christians who believe it to be Jesus' burial place before his resurrection. The New Testament's narrative of Jesus' crucifixion and burial outside Jerusalem holds both historical and symbolic significance. It underscores Jesus' mission and his identification with the marginalized, as well as fulfilling ancient prophecies. During Jesus' lifetime, the walls of Jerusalem did not extend as far as they do today, placing the Church of the Holy Sepulchre outside the city limits. This has been corroborated by archaeological evidence indicating that the second wall, which eventually enclosed the church, was built later. Over time, Jerusalem has undergone numerous changes and expansions, shaping the current landscape. The development of the second wall around the Church of the Holy Sepulchre highlights the significance of this religious site and its evolution over centuries. In Jesus' time, Jerusalem's old city walls would have confined the city to a smaller area, with the Church of the Holy Sepulchre lying outside these limits. The positioning of this site outside the city boundaries held symbolic meaning, as religious sites often carried importance beyond mere physical boundaries. Archaeological evidence further corroborates this historical context, showcasing the gradual expansion of Jerusalem's walls to encompass significant sites like the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The city of Jerusalem during the time of Jesus looked vastly different from what it is today. The old city walls constrained the city to a smaller area, and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre lay outside these walls. This positioning outside the city limits was significant, as it highlighted the historical and symbolic context of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. The Garden Tomb's discovery in the 19th century added another layer to the complex history of Jesus' burial sites. While it presents some issues with its location and historical context, it is still accepted by some Christian denominations. Mormons and some evangelical Protestants regard it as the tomb of Jesus, and some academics also support its potential authenticity. Despite this, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre remains the most widely accepted site for Jesus' burial, a status it has held for over 6 centuries. The New Testament describes Jesus' crucifixion and burial outside Jerusalem's walls, consistent with ancient practices. Burials were typically outside city boundaries, and crucifixion, a common Roman execution method, was performed outside city walls as a public deterrent. Jesus' crucifixion at Golgotha, located outside Jerusalem, aligns with these customs. Following his crucifixion, Jesus was buried in a tomb outside the city, known today as the Garden Tomb. This site holds significant religious importance for Christians who believe in its authenticity. The narrative of Jesus' crucifixion and burial outside Jerusalem is historically and symbolically significant. It reflects Jesus' mission and his identification with the marginalized, fulfilling ancient prophecies. During Jesus' era, Jerusalem's walls did not extend as they do now, placing the Church of the Holy Sepulchre outside the city. Archaeological evidence supports this, indicating that the second wall enclosing the church was built later. Jerusalem has evolved significantly over time, with numerous changes and expansions shaping its landscape. The development of the second wall around the Church of the Holy Sepulchre underscores the site's religious importance and evolution. During Jesus' time, Jerusalem's old city walls confined the city to a smaller area, and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was outside these limits. This outside positioning held symbolic importance, as religious sites often transcended physical boundaries. Archaeological evidence further supports this historical context, showing the gradual expansion of Jerusalem's walls to include significant sites like the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. In Jesus' time, Jerusalem's old city walls constrained the city to a smaller area, with the Church of the Holy Sepulchre lying outside. This positioning outside the city limits was symbolically important, emphasizing the historical and symbolic significance of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. In summary, the Garden Tomb and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre represent two significant sites traditionally associated with Jesus' burial. While the Garden Tomb has its proponents among certain Christian denominations and some academics, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre remains the most widely accepted site. The New Testament's account of Jesus' crucifixion and burial outside Jerusalem aligns with historical practices and carries deep symbolic meaning. The resilience and historical significance of these sites continue to inspire and reaffirm the faith of millions of believers worldwide. Archaeological evidence supports the historical context of these sites, reflecting Jerusalem's evolving landscape over centuries. These findings shed light on the architectural and urban development of ancient Jerusalem, offering insights into the cultural and religious landscape of the time. As the city grew and evolved, its religious and cultural significance deepened. The construction of the second wall around the Church of the Holy Sepulchre signifies a shift in priorities and recognition of the importance of this sacred site. It reflects the interplay between faith, history, and architecture in shaping Jerusalem's identity as a spiritual center. The changes in Jerusalem's city walls and the placement of religious sites like the Church of the Holy Sepulchre reflect a dynamic interplay between the physical and spiritual realms. These developments underscore Jerusalem's rich history and enduring legacy as a place of profound religious and historical significance. Since at least the 12th century, the doors of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre have been controlled by the Nusaybe family, the oldest Muslim family in Jerusalem, and the Uday family. Both families continue to hold this authority to this day, possessing the keys to the church believed to house Jesus' tomb. Given the site's profound significance, many people are curious about whether they can visit this sacred place. The answer is yes. Entrance to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is free, although some parts of the church might be closed for ceremonies on certain days. Every year, millions of tourists visit to pray and connect spiritually. Let's take a quick tour of this holy place. Upon arriving in Jerusalem, one of the most striking structures on the Temple Mount in the Old City is the Golden Dome of the Rock. The Rock is believed in Judaism to be the spot where God created the first human, Adam. It is also believed to be the site where Abraham attempted to sacrifice his son Isaac. This site is said to have a divine presence, and it is towards this spot that Jews historically turned to pray. Not far from these holy shrines, you can see the two blue domes of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the most holy place in Christianity. This is the site where Christ was crucified and resurrected. Originally located outside the city of Jerusalem, this area was known as Mount Calvary or Golgotha. Entering the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the first notable site is Golgotha. A staircase leads up to Calvary, the site of Jesus' crucifixion, and the most extravagantly decorated part of the church. The exit from this site leads down another staircase to the ambulatory. Calvary has two chapels, one Greek Orthodox and the other Catholic. The Greek Orthodox chapel's altar is positioned over the rock of Calvary, which is also the 12th station of the cross. Visitors can touch the rock through a special hole in the floor beneath the altar. Be prepared to wait in line, as this is one of the main attractions in the church. The rock can also be seen through protective glass on both sides of the altar. Between the Catholic and Greek altars, a statue of Mary marks the 13th station of the cross. Inside the church's entrance is the stone of anointing, believed to be where Jesus' body was prepared for burial. A modern mosaic along the wall depicts the anointing of Jesus' body, while lamps with candles and incense hang along an ornate stand over the stone. Next, you will encounter the aedicule, a small chapel housing the Holy Sepulchre. The aedicule has 2 rooms. One holds the angel's stone, believed to be a fragment of the stone that sealed Jesus' tomb, and the other is the tomb of Jesus. Since the 14th century, a marble plaque over the tomb has protected it from further damage caused by flocks of pilgrims. The Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, and Armenian Apostolic churches all have rightful access to the interior of the tomb, and all 3 hold Holy Mass there daily. Between May 2016 and March 2017, the aedicule underwent a painstaking restoration and repair process to ensure the structure's safety for visitors. This effort reflects the ongoing importance of the site to millions of Christians worldwide and the commitment to preserving its sanctity for future generations. Overall, the architectural evolution of Jerusalem, marked by significant construction, like the second wall around the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, highlights the city's rich and dynamic history. These developments not only reflect Jerusalem's physical growth, but also its deepening spiritual significance. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, in particular, stands as a testament to the city's enduring legacy as a center of profound religious importance. Visitors today can explore this sacred site, connecting with centuries of history and faith that continue to shape the spiritual landscape of Jerusalem. As you walk through the church, you are stepping into a place where history, faith, and culture converge, offering a unique opportunity to witness the enduring legacy of one of the world's most significant religious sites. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is not only a place of pilgrimage, but also a symbol of the complex and multifaceted history of Jerusalem. It stands as a beacon of the city's rich heritage, attracting people from all over the world who seek to connect with the divine and immerse themselves in the profound historical and spiritual significance of this ancient city.
What if we don't meet Jesus in our dreams? We all want good things to happen in our lives, but too often we want them now, not later. Some people, when watching videos or hearing testimonies, may wonder why God reveals himself to many people, including Muslims, but never comes to them, even in their dreams. When it doesn't happen as we wish, we are tempted to ask, "When, God? When?" Most of us need to grow in the area of trusting God instead of focusing on the when question. If your mind feels worn out all the time, you're not trusting God. God had to teach us to leave things alone and quit feeling like we needed to know everything. After all, we finally learned to trust the one who knows all things and accept that some questions may never be answered. We prove that we trust God when we refuse to worry. If you have been waiting for a long time, but still have not met the Father in your dream, don't worry. Here are some tips for you. Many people want change, but they don't want to go through the waiting process. The truth is, waiting is a given. We are going to wait. The question is, are we going to wait the wrong or right way? If we wait the wrong way, we'll be miserable. But if we decide to wait God's way, we can become patient and enjoy the wait. It takes practice, but as we let God help us in each situation, we develop patience, which is one of the most important Christian virtues. Patience is a fruit of the Spirit. As we develop patience, the Bible says we will finally feel completely satisfied, lacking nothing. Even our relationship with God involves progressive changes. We learn to trust God by going through many experiences that require trust. By seeing God's faithfulness over and over, we let go of trusting ourselves and gradually place our trust in Him. Looking at it this way, it is easy to see how timing plays an important part in learning to trust God. If He did everything we asked for immediately, we would never grow and develop. Timing and trust work side by side, so just be patient and wait. God will come to you and let you see Him somehow. God gives us hopes and dreams for certain things to happen in our lives, but He doesn't always allow us to see the exact timing of His plan. Although frustrating, not knowing the exact timing is often what keeps us in the program. There are times when we might give up if we knew how long it was going to take. But when we accept God's timing, we can learn to live in hope and enjoy our lives while God is working on our problems. We know that God's plan for our lives is good. And when we entrust ourselves to Him, we can experience total peace and happiness. The book of Genesis tells the story of Joseph, who waited many years for the fulfillment of the dream God had given him. He was falsely accused and imprisoned before the time came for him to do what God had shown him he was to do. Exodus 13:17-18 tells us that God led the Israelites the longer, harder way on their journey to the Promised Land, because He knew they were not yet ready to go in. There had to be time for their training, and they had to go through some very trying situations. They wasted a lot of time wondering about God's timing, but God never failed to take care of them and show them what He wanted them to do. The same is true in our lives. For some reason, God may prioritize appearing in some people's dreams, but that doesn't mean that God has passed you by. It's just that it's not yet time for God to show you. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's mind plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps and makes them sure." Proverbs 20:24 says, "A man's steps are ordered by the Lord. How then can a man understand his way?" When God directs our paths, He sometimes leads us in ways that don't make sense to us. We're not always going to understand everything. If we try to reason out everything, we will experience struggle, confusion, and misery. But there is a better way. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Lean on, trust in, and be confident in the Lord with all your heart and mind, and do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways know, recognize, and acknowledge Him, and He will direct and make straight and plain your paths." This sounds so simple, yet too many people make the mistake of trying to figure everything out themselves. Most of us have spent our lives trying to take care of ourselves. But when we accept Christ as our Savior, we must learn to trust our lives to His care. God gets in gear to help us. God won't allow us to succeed at anything unless we're leaning and relying on Him. But when we humble ourselves under the mighty hand of God, in due time, He will exalt us. Due time is God's time, when God knows we're ready, not when we think we're ready. The sooner we understand and accept that, the sooner God can work His plan in our lives. God wants us to live by discernment, revelation knowledge, not head knowledge. It's difficult to exercise discernment if you're always trying to figure everything out. But when you're willing to say, "God, I can't figure this out, so I'm going to trust you to give me a revelation that will set me free," then you can be comfortable despite not knowing. Trusting God often requires not knowing how God is going to accomplish what needs to be done and not knowing when He will do it. We often say, God is never late, but generally, He isn't early either. Why? Because He uses times of waiting to stretch our faith in Him and to bring about change and growth in our lives. Many people testify to encountering Jesus in their dreams, and these experiences can be profound and life-changing. However, if you haven't experienced such a dream, it doesn't mean God is absent or ignoring you. God's methods and timing are beyond our understanding, and He works in ways that are best suited for each individual. God often uses periods of waiting to develop our character and faith. trust is built through experiences that require us to rely on God's timing and provision. The Bible is full of examples of individuals who had to wait for God's promises to be fulfilled. Joseph, for instance, had dreams of greatness, but he endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment before those dreams became reality. His story teaches us that waiting is not a sign of God's disinterest, but part of His perfect plan. Similarly, the Israelites had to journey through the wilderness for 40 years before entering the Promised Land. This long and difficult path was necessary for their spiritual preparation. They learned to trust God daily for their sustenance and guidance. In the same way, our spiritual growth often requires us to navigate challenging times and trust in God's provision. Accepting God's timing means living in hope and trust, even when we don't see immediate results. It's about finding peace in the present, knowing that God is working behind the scenes. This attitude allows us to enjoy life despite uncertainties and delays. We can rest in the assurance that God's plans for us are good, even if we don't understand them fully. The process of waiting and trusting God can transform us. It helps us to let go of our own plans and align ourselves with God's will. This transformation is crucial for our spiritual maturity. As we surrender our need for control and accept God's sovereignty, we grow in faith and patience. God's wisdom is infinite, and His perspective is eternal. Our understanding is limited, and we often focus on immediate concerns. Trusting God involves acknowledging that His ways are higher than ours. Proverbs 3:5-6 encourages us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. This scripture reminds us that reliance on God leads to a clearer, more directed path in life. One of the most significant benefits of trusting God is the peace that comes with it. When we stop striving to figure everything out and let go of our anxieties, we make room for God's peace to fill our hearts. Philippians 4:6-7 tells us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace is a divine gift that sustains us even when our circumstances remain challenging. God's peace is not contingent on our understanding of His plans. It comes from knowing that He is in control and that His love for us is unwavering. Trusting in God's timing and methods requires us to let go of our worries and embrace His peace. This doesn't mean we won't face difficulties, but it does mean we can face them with confidence and calm, knowing that God is with us. Waiting and trusting in. God also strengthens our relationship with Him. Just as human relationships grow through shared experiences and reliance on one another, our relationship with God deepens as we depend on Him. When we trust God, we open ourselves to His guidance and presence in our lives. This intimacy with God is more valuable than any immediate answer or quick solution. God desires a relationship with us that is based on trust and love, not just on Him granting our requests. He wants us to seek Him for who He is, not just for what He can do for us. As we wait and trust, we learn more about God's character, His faithfulness, goodness, and love. This knowledge transforms us and shapes our faith. There are practical steps we can take to grow in our trust in God. Regular prayer and reading the Bible are foundational. Prayer helps us communicate with God, expressing our fears, hopes, and desires, while also listening for His voice. Reading Scripture reminds us of God's promises and His faithfulness throughout history. Reflecting on past experiences where God has been faithful can also bolster our trust. Surrounding ourselves with a community of believers provides support and encouragement. Sharing our journey with others and hearing their testimonies of God's faithfulness can inspire and strengthen our faith. Practicing gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, cultivating a heart of trust and contentment. Moreover, actively choosing to let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives is crucial. Trust that God's plans are better than our own, and that He will lead us in the right direction. Embracing God's will involves a shift in perspective, recognizing that our plans and desires, while important, are secondary to God's greater purpose. Jesus Himself exemplified this trust and submission. In the Garden of Gethsemane, facing imminent crucifixion, He prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Luke 22:42. Jesus' willingness to submit to God's will, even in the face of immense suffering, is the ultimate example of trust. Sometimes God's silence can be one of the most challenging aspects of waiting. When we don't hear from God or see His actions, it can feel like He is distant or uninterested. However, God's silence does not mean His absence. Often God uses these silent periods to deepen our faith and reliance on Him. In these times, we are called to trust in God's unchanging nature. Hebrews 13:8 tells us, "Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever." This assurance means that even when we don't perceive God's presence or understand His ways, He remains faithful and loving. Waiting is an active process that involves learning and growing. It's a time when we can develop spiritual disciplines, gain new insights, and become more attuned to God's voice. The waiting period is often where our greatest spiritual growth occurs. God may use this time to teach us valuable lessons about patience, humility, and reliance on Him. As we navigate these seasons of waiting, we can ask God to reveal what He wants us to learn and how we can grow closer to Him. There is purpose in waiting, even if it's not immediately apparent. God's delays are not His denials. They are part of His perfect plan. As we trust in God's timing, we can find purpose and meaning in our waiting periods. Joseph's story in Genesis is a powerful example of finding purpose in waiting. Despite the long and difficult journey, Joseph's experiences prepared him for the role God had for him. His time in prison, his skills in administration, and his ability to interpret dreams all played crucial roles in God's plan to save many lives. Similarly, our waiting periods can prepare us for the roles God has planned for us. They can equip us with the skills, character, and faith we need to fulfill our God-given purposes. Not meeting Jesus in a dream does not mean that God is absent from your life. It's an opportunity to deepen your trust in Him and grow in faith. Waiting with patience, accepting God's timing, and relying on Him are essential aspects of the Christian journey. These practices help us to align our will with God's, find peace in His plans, and develop a stronger relationship with Him. God's ways and timing are beyond our understanding, but His love and faithfulness are constant. As we trust in Him, we can live with hope and peace, knowing that He is working for our good. The more we surrender to God's will and rely on His guidance, the more we can experience His radical, outrageous blessings in our lives. Trusting God brings life and rest, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with confidence and joy. Let's dive into the heart of this miraculous event. Imagine living in Gaza, a place where conflict and hardship are part of daily life. In the midst of all this suffering, something extraordinary happened. Over 200 Muslim men experienced a vision that changed their lives forever. They saw Jesus Christ in their dreams. Yes, you heard that right. Jesus appeared to them, bringing a message of hope and salvation. Let's start with some eyewitness testimonies from the men who had the visions and the Christian missionaries who witnessed the aftermath. One of the most compelling stories is from a man named Omar. Omar had been living in despair, having lost his family and his home to the ongoing conflict. One night, he had a vivid dream where Jesus appeared to him, extending his hand and offering peace. Omar woke up feeling an overwhelming sense of calm and hope, something he hadn't felt in years. Another powerful testimony comes from Ali, a young man deeply troubled by the violence around him. In his dream, Jesus appeared and spoke to him, saying, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid." John 14:27. Ali woke up with tears in his eyes, feeling a profound sense of love and acceptance. He immediately sought out the Christian missionaries to learn more about Jesus and the Christian faith. These visions were not just isolated incidents. Over 200 men had similar dreams on the same night. They all described seeing Jesus, who brought them messages of peace and comfort. This shared experience created a strong bond among them, leading them to seek out Christian teachings together. The emotional impact of these dreams was profound. Many of these men had been living in constant fear and sadness, but after their visions, they felt a renewed sense of purpose and hope. The Christian missionaries in Gaza were astonished by these reports. They had been working tirelessly to provide aid and share the message of Jesus, but they had never witnessed anything like this. One of the missionaries, Pastor Michael, described it as divine intervention. It was as if Jesus himself came down to show these men the way, he said. The missionaries quickly organized gatherings to support and teach these new believers, helping them understand the significance of their visions and guiding them on their spiritual journey. These miraculous dreams had an immediate and powerful effect on the individuals who experienced them. For many, it was a turning point. Take Hassan, for example. He had been a staunch skeptic, refusing to believe in anything he couldn't see or touch. But after his dream, where Jesus appeared to him with open arms, Hassan couldn't deny the reality of what he had seen. He found comfort in the words of Acts 9:18, which recounts the conversion of Saul. Immediately, something like scales fell from Saul's eyes, and he could see again. He got up and was baptized. The shared vision of Jesus brought these men together in a way that nothing else could. They began to meet regularly, supporting each other and growing in their new faith. This sense of community was crucial, especially in a place like Gaza where isolation and despair are common. Their newfound faith gave them strength and resilience, enabling them to face their challenges with a renewed spirit. Many of them found comfort in the Bible, especially in verses like Matthew 11:28, where Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This promise of rest and peace resonated deeply with them, providing a much-needed source of hope. This event didn't just affect the men who had the visions. It also had a ripple effect on their families and communities. Wives, children, and neighbors saw the change in these men and were curious to learn more. Some began attending the gatherings, wanting to understand what had brought about such a profound transformation. This sparked a wave of interest and curiosity about Christianity, spreading the message of Jesus even further. One particularly touching story is that of Abdul, who had been estranged from his family due to his struggles and despair. After his vision of Jesus, Abdul reached out to his family, asking for their forgiveness and expressing his newfound hope. His family, seeing the genuine change in him, welcomed him back with open arms. This reconciliation was a testament to the healing power of faith and the message of love and forgiveness that Jesus brings. The missionaries also witnessed an outpouring of support from the international Christian community. Churches and organizations around the world sent aid and prayers, moved by the miraculous event in Gaza. This global support provided much-needed resources and encouragement to the new believers, reinforcing the idea that they were part of a larger, loving community. The significance of this event cannot be overstated. In a place where hope is often in short supply, the appearance of Jesus in the dreams of over 200 men brought a wave of faith, love, and unity. It reminded everyone that no matter how dire the circumstances, God's love is ever present and powerful enough to bring about change. As Isaiah 41:10 says, "So, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Let's consider the broader context of biblical prophecies. The Bible is filled with references to dreams and visions as means through which God communicates with his people. For instance, in Genesis 37, Joseph had dreams that foretold his future and the future of his family. These dreams were significant in shaping the course of his life and the lives of those around him. Similarly, the dreams of the men in Gaza are shaping their futures and the future of their community. The significance of dreams in the Bible is further emphasized in Matthew 1:20, where an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit." This dream guided Joseph and reassured him of God's plan. The dreams experienced by the men in Gaza serve a similar purpose, guiding them towards a new faith and reassuring them of God's presence and plan for their lives. Another relevant prophecy is found in Joel 3:16, which states, "The Lord will roar from Zion and thunder from Jerusalem. The earth and the heavens will tremble, but the Lord will be a refuge for his people, a stronghold for the people of Israel." This verse speaks to the protective and guiding nature of God. The visions of Jesus provide a refuge for the men in Gaza, offering them spiritual strength and guidance amidst the chaos of their surroundings. The emotional impact of these visions cannot be overstated. For many of these men, their dreams of Jesus were a source of immense comfort and hope. They found solace in the knowledge that God had not forgotten them, even in their darkest moments. This profound spiritual experience mirrors the promise found in Isaiah 40:31, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." The visions in Gaza are a vivid reminder that God's prophecies are not confined to the past. They are being fulfilled in our present. They show us that God's Spirit is active and moving in the world, bringing hope, transformation, and renewal. This miraculous event is a testament to the enduring power of faith and the fulfillment of God's promises. These biblical connections provide a powerful framework for understanding the significance of the visions in Gaza. They remind us that God's word is living and active, continuing to guide and inspire us today. The fulfillment of these prophecies in such a profound and tangible way strengthens our faith and reinforces the truth of the Bible. What exactly are miracles, and why are they significant in our faith? In simple terms, a miracle is an extraordinary event that defies natural laws and can only be attributed to divine intervention. These events serve as tangible manifestations of God's power and presence in our world. Miracles play a crucial role in Christianity for several reasons. Firstly, They act as signs that point to the divine nature of Jesus Christ and affirm his authority and mission on earth. They provide concrete evidence of God's involvement in human affairs, strengthening the faith of believers and drawing non-believers towards faith. In John 20:30-31, we read, Jesus performed many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not recorded in this book. But these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. Historically, the Bible is replete with accounts of divine interventions that have left an indelible mark on humanity. One of the earliest and most dramatic examples is the parting of the Red Sea. In Exodus 14:21-22, we see Moses stretching out his hand over the sea, and with God's power, the waters divided, allowing the Israelites to escape from the pursuing Egyptians. This miraculous event not only demonstrated God's saving power, but also solidified the faith of the Israelites in their covenant with God. Another profound miracle is found in the story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal in 1 Kings 18:36-39. Here, Elijah calls upon the Lord to demonstrate his power, and fire falls from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. This miraculous display decisively proved that the Lord is the true God, turning the hearts of the people back to him. In the New Testament, Jesus performed numerous miracles that showcased his divine authority and compassion. One of the most well-known is the raising of Lazarus from the dead, found in John 11:43-44. Jesus called out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" And the man who had been dead for 4 days walked out of the tomb. This miracle not only demonstrated Jesus' power over life and death, but also prefigured his own resurrection. The feeding of the 5,000 is another powerful example. In Matthew 14:13-21, with only 5 loaves and 2 fish, Jesus fed a multitude, illustrating his ability to provide abundantly for our needs. This miracle also highlighted the importance of sharing and community, values that are central to Christian life. Hopeful fact: over 90% of ex-Muslims from various countries whom he encountered claimed their decision to convert stemmed from dreams where Jesus appeared to them. Since 1991, Pastor Lazarus's ministry has witnessed the conversion of more than 100,000 Muslims, a testament to the powerful impact of these divine encounters. Similarly, a remarkable event took place in Gaza, a region plagued by conflict and suffering. Amidst the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas, over 200 Muslims experienced dreams of Jesus on the same night. This mass encounter brought a wave of transformation and hope to a place overshadowed by despair. Christian ministers reported that during Bible readings and discussions about Jesus' message of peace, these Muslims saw Jesus in their dreams. This led many to convert to Christianity, even in such a perilous environment. Professor Michael Lona, president of Risen Jesus Inc., has been instrumental in documenting and sharing these miraculous conversions. He has received numerous reports from Christian ministers in Palestine about Muslims converting to Christianity following profound dreams of Jesus. Despite the dire circumstances, these new believers found solace and comfort in their dreams, deciding to embrace Christianity. This mass conversion is especially significant given the intense suffering and violence in Gaza. Professor Lona, known for his influential works like The Case for the Resurrection of Jesus and Paul Meets Muhammad, has played a crucial role in the conversion journeys of many Muslims. His scholarly approach to the Christian faith has provided compelling evidence that has touched and transformed many hearts. One notable convert influenced by Lona's work is Nabil Ki, a former Muslim who now passionately defends the Christian faith. The miracle in Gaza is a powerful reminder that God works even in the darkest places, bringing hope and salvation. However, the situation in Gaza for Christians remains critical. Many are trapped in churches, facing shortages of food, water, and medical supplies. Despite these hardships, these believers continue to stand firm in their faith, witnessing the saving power of Christ even in the most challenging circumstances. The simultaneous appearance of Jesus in the dreams of hundreds of Muslims is seen as a fulfillment of his prophecy of reaching unreachable places. As Christians celebrate these conversions, it is essential to recognize the ongoing struggles of our brothers and sisters in Gaza. The international Christian community is urged to pray and advocate for the safe evacuation of Christians and civilians to safer areas. The resilience of these believers amid violence and suffering is a testament to their unwavering faith and the transformative power of their encounter with Jesus. These testimonies from Iran and Gaza highlight the profound impact of encountering Jesus through dreams. They reveal a pattern of divine intervention, bringing individuals to faith in the most challenging environments. Despite facing persecution and violence, these new believers demonstrate remarkable courage and conviction in their newfound faith. Their stories serve as powerful reminders of the transformative power of Christ and the hope he brings even in the darkest circumstances. This phenomenon of Muslims encountering Jesus in dreams can be attributed to two main reasons. First, the harsh reality faced by those who convert to Christianity in some Muslim-majority countries. These brave individuals risk losing everything: their families, their possessions, and even their freedom. The fear of persecution is real and intense. Second, Muslims place a high value on dreams, viewing them as potential messages from God. They believe that during sleep, with less worldly noise, it is a clear opportunity for divine communication. This emphasis on dreams aligns with some Christian beliefs, as the Bible also showcases God speaking through dreams. However, Muslims tend to take this concept much more seriously. One striking example is the story of Karam Alak, an Islamic extremist raised in a fervent Islamic community with jihad as his destiny. War tactics were his passion, and his ultimate dream was to fight in the name of Allah. However, his plans were abruptly revoked, leaving him feeling abandoned by God. As he delved deeper into his studies, he frequently encountered Jesus' name, causing confusion and unraveling his rigid beliefs. One night, in desperation, he prayed for God to reveal the truth. That night, he had a vivid dream of being chased until a hand reached out to him, offering hope. This hand belonged to Jesus. The dream was so real that it left him shaken. After praying for confirmation, he had the same dream again, but he still doubted. He challenged the dream, asking for a definitive answer. The following night, Jesus appeared again, telling him, "Did I not tell you? It's your time to follow me." This dream shattered Karam's beliefs and led him on a quest to understand who Jesus truly was. He eventually embraced Christianity, a decision that transformed his worldview and soul. Despite facing ostracism from his former community, his newfound faith provided solace, and he became a powerful voice sharing his story and urging others to embrace Christ. Karam's story is a testament to the transformative power of faith, showing that even the most hardened hearts can find redemption. His experience, along with those in Iran and Gaza, demonstrates that even in times of great trial, God does not abandon his children. These stories of divine encounters through dreams offer a significant sign of hope and serve as a reminder of God's enduring presence and love, even in the most challenging circumstances.
Here now with Alex Sands, and Alex, you and I know the image that you're seeing right there.
In a serene, starry night sky, suddenly pierced by a bright, intense light, a heavenly sound breaks the silence, and an imposing figure emerges from the clouds. It is Jesus, accompanied by a shining angel hovering over Jerusalem. This is not a fairy tale or an imaginary vision. Eyewitnesses claim that an incredible miracle has taken place. Have you ever wondered about the signs of the second coming of Christ? What does it mean when the heavens open and divine beings manifest before our eyes? In this video, we will explore this extraordinary phenomenon in the light of the Holy Scriptures. Is this the beginning of the end? Are we about to experience the final battle between good and evil? We are Jesus Eternal Aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.
Is this a trick of the light? Jesus, an angel, a cross? Beautiful, amazing.
In an extraordinary miracle in Jerusalem, Jesus and an angel appeared in the sky over the Holy Land, where sacred stones bear witness to centuries of history and markets bustle with daily life. Supernatural news is spreading rapidly throughout Israel as a mysterious radiant light descends from the sky, accompanied by a terrifying sound that sends shivers down the spines of even the most devout. To intensify the surreality of the event, a simultaneous earthquake shook the foundations of the city, jeopardizing the safety of the dome and causing panic in our revered city of Jerusalem. Amidst a scenario of ongoing conflict in the Gaza Strip, where peace seems a distant dream, the appearance of these celestial phenomena in the sky over Israel has attracted the attention of observers, analysts, and experts from around the world. It is both fascinating and disturbing to realize that in the midst of so much turmoil, Israel has become the epicenter of an impressive divine spectacle. This incredible event, where Jesus and an angel were seen in the sky, seems to directly echo biblical prophecies about the signs of the second coming of Christ. The Holy Bible warns us of times of tribulation and the manifestation of great signs in the heavens. Many wonder if this could be a harbinger of the final battle between good and evil, the arrival of the Antichrist, and the imminent return of the Savior. The inhabitants of Jerusalem, both believers and skeptics, are now faced with a heavenly enigma. The streets that once witnessed the footsteps of prophets and apostles are now alive with heated debate and theories. Does this momentous event herald a new chapter in the fulfillment of apocalyptic prophecies? Are we about to witness the fulfillment of the sacred words written in Scripture? What we can say with certainty is that this phenomenon has profound implications and spiritual resonances that cannot be ignored. In a time of uncertainty and conflict, this heavenly sign reminds us of the power and presence of God. Jerusalem, the spiritual heart of Israel, has become the stage for a divine revelation, inviting us all to reflect on our role in the great biblical narrative. Prepare to delve into a mystery that transcends human comprehension. This is a time of great revelation and reflection. What you are about to discover could transform your faith and your worldview. Don't miss this opportunity to explore the secrets of heaven and the designs of God within the sacred walls of Jerusalem, a place steeped in centuries of fervent prayer and bitter disputes over the Holy Land. An unprecedented event has left the inhabitants stunned. For the first time in more than 2 millennia since his death, burial, and resurrection, reports have emerged of Jesus, and an angel being seen on the streets of Jerusalem. Was this a mere trick of the light, or something truly divine? Jesus, in his resplendent glory, and a magnificent angel were seen surrounded by a shining cross. A crowd gathered around this heavenly sight, with angels descending from heaven, making the scene unlike anything the modern world has ever witnessed. Initially, it might have been easy to dismiss these reports as exaggerated, blasphemous, or a figment of the imagination. But photos and videos captured by witnesses at the scene confirm the authenticity of the event. Jesus, the King of Glory, and a host of angels appeared in heaven, instilling a profound sense of wonder and excitement amidst the ongoing conflict. This celestial phenomenon raises many questions. What does this extraordinary visitation symbolize? Why was Jerusalem specifically chosen as the setting for this miraculous event out of all the cities in the world? The Holy Scriptures speak of signs and wonders that precede the second coming of Christ. This event can be interpreted as a fulfillment of biblical prophecies that mention the manifestation of great signs in the heavens. As the news spreads and more people learn about this miraculous event, the implications for believers and the world at large are profound. This divine spectacle invites us all to consider our place in the unfolding story of God's plan. Jerusalem, once again, stands at the center of a heavenly revelation, urging us to reflect on the sacred words of Scripture and the signs of the times. In this moment of great revelation, we are called to examine our faith and prepare for the possible fulfillment of biblical prophecies. This extraordinary miracle serves as a powerful reminder of the divine presence and the ultimate destiny of humanity. Are we witnessing the beginning of a new apocalyptic chapter where the Antichrist reveals himself and the final battle between good and evil draws near? The residents of Jerusalem, both believers and skeptics, find themselves facing a heavenly mystery. The historic streets, which once witnessed the footsteps of prophets and apostles, now vibrate with intense debate and varied theories. This event, marked by the appearance of Jesus and his angels, may be a harbinger of prophetic and significant times. While the world watches with a mixture of fear and fascination, the divine presence in Jerusalem invites us to deep reflection. This heavenly sign, amidst a backdrop of uncertainty and conflict, reminds us of the supreme power and divine intervention. Jerusalem, the spiritual heart of Israel, has become the stage for a divine revelation, prompting all of us to consider our role in the great biblical narrative. Prepare to immerse yourself in a mystery that defies human understanding and touches the heart of faith. What you are about to discover can transform your worldview and strengthen your belief in God's designs. Don't miss this opportunity to explore the heavenly secrets and understand the true meaning of this divine apparition. The first to witness this astonishing vision were a group of devout pilgrims. As soon as they saw the figure, their minds immediately turned to Jesus, for the image faithfully corresponded to the traditional representations and sacred stories they had heard. With long hair and a serene countenance, the figure emanated a divine presence. His full beard and piercing eyes created a magical scene, with the figure shining brightly from within. It was an incredibly special moment for those present, and seeing it happen in Jerusalem, a city steeped in so much biblical history, made the experience even more impactful. But the vision was not limited to just the figure of Jesus. Alongside him, resplendent angels were also present, radiating a pure heavenly light. Their wings reflected the rays of the sun, further enhancing the splendor of the scene. It was as if heaven had descended to earth, presenting a sight that defied all earthly description. The people present were overcome with a mixture of happiness and amazement as this extraordinary sight unfolded before their eyes. Many could not hold back tears of joy, while others prayed silently, deeply grateful to have witnessed such a magnificent miracle. News of this sight spread like wildfire, and soon everyone wanted to see it for themselves. Crowds began to gather on the Mount of Olives, transforming it into a meeting place teeming with anticipation and reverence. Social media was abuzz with people sharing their experiences and photos of the phenomenon. Some images were blurry due to the excitement and speed with which they were taken, but others were clear, capturing every detail of the figures and angels. These visual records only increased the credibility of the event, leading more and more people to believe what they had heard. This miraculous event in Jerusalem touched the hearts of many, reminding everyone of the biblical prophecies about the signs that precede the second coming of Christ. The Holy Scriptures mention that there would be signs and wonders in the sky, and this appearance seems to be a direct fulfillment of those prophecies. This divine manifestation has reignited discussions and reflections on the end times, urging believers to prepare for what may come. Jerusalem, with its rich spiritual and historical significance, continues to be a focal point for divine encounters. The recent appearance of Jesus and his angels has not only captivated the residents of Jerusalem, but has also drawn global attention. As the world watches and speculates, the faithful are called to deepen their understanding and reaffirm their faith in God's plan. The recent divine apparition in Jerusalem serves as a powerful reminder of the ongoing spiritual battle and the fulfillment of biblical prophecies. This extraordinary event invites us to reflect on our faith and our place in the grand narrative of God's design. As we ponder the meaning and implications of this heavenly sign, let us remain vigilant and steadfast in our belief, prepared for the unfolding of divine mysteries and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. As the modern world grapples with a mixture of fear and fascination, the notion of witnessing the prelude to apocalyptic events becomes ever more compelling. The divine presence in Jerusalem invites profound reflection on our faith and our place within the divine plan. This heavenly sign, manifesting in a time of uncertainty and conflict, powerfully underscores the supreme power and divine intervention in human history. Jerusalem, the spiritual heart of Israel, has transformed into the epicenter of a divine revelation, prompting believers worldwide to consider their role in the grand biblical narrative. Celestial phenomena are not new to this ancient city. Similar sightings were recorded in the skies of Israel in 2016 and 2023. Whether during the day or night, believers in Jerusalem have always hoped to see the divine light when Jesus and the angels descend to earth. The recent event on the Mount of Olives did not go unnoticed among religious leaders and communities globally. While some firmly believed in the miracle, others sought further proof before speaking out. Meanwhile, authorities and scientists were busy trying to understand what exactly had happened. Reactions to the event varied widely among onlookers. Many accepted the vision without question, seeing it as confirmation of their faith, while others asked for additional evidence before believing. Intense theological debates ensued, with scholars and religious leaders striving to interpret the meaning and consequences of this miracle. The Holy Bible teaches that Jesus will return to earth one day, as he promised, before ascending to heaven. This return, eagerly awaited for generations, is seen as a time of immense joy and celebration. According to Scripture, Jesus' return will be a grand and dramatic event, where he will come in power and glory, surrounded by a host of angels. The recent event in Jerusalem has many wondering if we are close to that promised day. The vision of Jesus and the angels descending from heaven brings to mind the words of the Gospels, which speak of the second coming of the Messiah, where he will be seen coming on the clouds with great power and majesty. The Bible relates that when Jesus returns, There will be signs in heaven and on earth. This event on the Mount of Olives can be interpreted as one of these signs, a foreshadowing of what is to come. For believers, it is a powerful reminder of the nearness of the kingdom of God and a call to spiritual preparation. The vision of angels alongside Jesus reinforces the biblical promise that he will not return alone, but accompanied by heavenly beings, bringing with him divine justice and the promised salvation. Meanwhile, social media and the media are filled with stories and images of the event, shared by those fortunate enough to witness the phenomenon. Photos and videos capture the essence of the moment, showing the shining figure of Jesus and the angels, fueling the faith of many and arousing curiosity in others. This miraculous event in Jerusalem touches the hearts of many, rekindling hope and expectation for the return of Christ. It is a reminder of the power and divine intervention in human history and an invitation to reflect deeply on our faith and our place in the divine plan. Jerusalem, the spiritual epicenter of Israel, has once again become the scene of a divine revelation, prompting all of us to consider our role in the great biblical narrative. Prepare to delve into a mystery that defies human understanding and strengthens faith. What you are about to discover may transform your worldview and deepen your belief in God's designs. Don't miss this opportunity to explore the heavenly secrets and understand the true meaning of this divine appearance. The presence of Jesus Christ and a host of angels sent shockwaves through time and space. It is astonishing that this divine manifestation occurred during a time of intense conflict and strife in Israel. As we explore the significance of this visitation and the series of events that followed, it is crucial to understand the context of Jesus' appearance in Jerusalem. For Judaism, Jerusalem is the holiest city, with the Western Wall being the last remnant of the ancient Jewish temple. This site is of paramount importance to Jews, who view control over the Temple Mount as essential to their faith and identity. Christianity, on the other hand, considers Jerusalem to be the scene of many pivotal events in the life of Jesus Christ, especially his crucifixion and resurrection. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built on the site where Jesus is believed to have been crucified and buried, is a point of pilgrimage and devotion for Christians around the world. Islam also places great importance on Jerusalem, being the third holiest city after Mecca and Medina. The Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, located on the Temple Mount, are sites of profound significance in Islamic tradition. Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven from the rock beneath the Dome of the Rock on the night of Ascension, making it a place of veneration and reverence. This convergence of religious meanings makes Jerusalem a spiritual epicenter and a place of constant tension. The recent divine manifestation adds a new layer to the complex tapestry of faith, history, and prophecy woven around this city. As the world watches, we are invited to reflect on our spiritual journey and the unfolding of the divine plan. This moment in Jerusalem is not just a vision, but a call to deeper faith and readiness for what is to come. The modern world stands at a crossroads, looking toward Jerusalem with a sense of awe and anticipation. The divine light that shone on the Mount of Olives serves as a beacon, guiding us toward understanding and preparation for the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. In these uncertain times, the vision of Jesus and the angels offers hope and a profound reminder of the eternal promises that shape our faith. The appearance of Jesus and the angels in this context further intensifies the complexity and depth of the event for believers. This vision is not just a heavenly sign, but a direct message from God in tumultuous times. As we explore the impact of this vision, it is essential to reflect on how the Holy Bible prepares us for such manifestations. Scripture speaks of signs in heaven and on earth that precede the second coming of Christ. This event in Jerusalem can be seen as a fulfillment of these prophecies, a call for humanity to turn to God and prepare for what is to come. Reactions to the event were mixed. Some accepted the vision without question, seeing it as a confirmation of their faith, while others asked for more evidence before believing. There was intense theological debate, with religious leaders and scholars trying to interpret the meaning and implications of this miracle. This event is a powerful reminder of God's power and presence in a world marked by uncertainty and conflict. Meanwhile, news of the apparition spread quickly, with witnesses sharing their experiences on social media and in the media. Photos and videos captured the essence of the moment, showing Jesus and the angels in stunning detail, fueling the faith of many and arousing curiosity in others. The presence of Jesus Christ and his angels in Jerusalem is a call to reflection and spiritual preparation. Jerusalem, the spiritual heart of Israel, has once again become the setting for a divine revelation, prompting all of us to consider our role in the great biblical narrative. This miraculous event touches the hearts of many, rekindling hope and anticipation for the return of Christ. Prepare to delve into a mystery that defies human understanding and strengthens faith. What you are about to discover may transform your worldview and deepen your belief in God's designs. Don't miss this opportunity to explore the heavenly secrets and understand the true meaning of this divine appearance. The dispute over the religious sites of Jerusalem has fueled conflicts between the three major monotheistic religions, resulting in countless wars, revolts, and diplomatic tensions throughout history. The Holy City is a central point of veneration for Jews, Christians, and Muslims, and each group attributes profound meaning to its historical sites. However, many questions about Jerusalem remain shrouded in uncertainty, with historical, archaeological, and topographical issues still unresolved. Jerusalem played a crucial role in history, but historical records are scarce, and descriptions in literary sources often lack accuracy. Despite its ancient importance, archaeological remains in Jerusalem are not as abundant as at other biblical sites such as Megiddo, Hazor, Dan, and Samaria. Many archaeological discoveries are often dismissed or intentionally not published, fueling controversy and debate. Evidence of Israel's history in Jerusalem has been purposefully hidden and destroyed whenever possible over the centuries. The Holy Scriptures reveal that neither Satan nor his domain wants to see evidence of God's divine intervention in human affairs. Satan's agenda requires that Israel's true identity be erased from history, and he has sought this throughout Israel's history. A recent example of this deliberate destruction was the removal of ancient sections of Jerusalem, especially areas near the Temple Mount, by Palestinians. These actions were aimed at erasing the historical presence of ancient Israelites, especially Jews. Unfortunately, the international community, including the United Nations, often ignored these destructions. These deliberate actions to erase biblical history reflect the ongoing struggle against God's manifestation on earth. The Bible constantly reminds us of the importance of preserving and honoring sacred sites, and these attacks are an attempt to undermine faith and religious heritage. However, divine truth cannot be permanently suppressed. Scripture affirms that God will protect his people and his holy places, and that divine justice will ultimately prevail. As we reflect on these events, it is essential to remember the central role of Jerusalem in the biblical narrative. The city is not only a historical site, but an eternal symbol of God's presence among us. The struggle to preserve Jerusalem's heritage is ultimately a struggle for truth and faith. We must unite in defending these sacred sites, ensuring that future generations will be able to witness Jerusalem's rich history and profound spirituality. Prepare to explore the mysteries of Jerusalem, understand the complexities of its history, and deepen your understanding of the spiritual significance of this holy city. What you are about to discover can transform your worldview and strengthen your faith in God's plan. The confusion surrounding the earthly city of Jerusalem today reflects the complex and multifaceted condition of religion around the world. Jerusalem stands as the global religious capital, a focal point of faith for Jews, Christians, and Muslims. Its significance transcends mere geography. It is a symbol of the spiritual legacy that permeates the world. Despite its status, new questions continually emerge about previous archaeological interpretations, fueling debate and controversy. The long and continuous occupation of Jerusalem for nearly 6,000 years makes systematic excavations challenging, further complicating a comprehensive understanding of its history. The city's spiritual legacy represents a microcosm of the religious struggles and hopes that shape the world. For Judaism, Jerusalem is the beating heart of its faith, home to the Western Wall, the last vestige of the Holy Temple. This sacred site is a place of prayer and pilgrimage, embodying the enduring connection of the Jewish people to their ancestral homeland. For Christians, Jerusalem is the site of the most significant events in the life of Jesus Christ, including his crucifixion and resurrection. These events form the foundation of Christian faith, with locations such as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre drawing pilgrims from around the globe. Islam also reveres the city, considering it the third holiest after Mecca and Medina, with the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque being sites of profound significance. These sites commemorate the Prophet Muhammad's night journey and ascension, making Jerusalem an integral part of the Muslim spiritual landscape. These layers of religious significance make preserving Jerusalem's heritage a complex and essential task. Unauthorized excavations and the destruction of artifacts are seen as attempts to rewrite or erase the rich tapestry of religious history that defines the city. This act of erasing history is a reflection of the spiritual battles that transcend time and space. As described in the Holy Bible, Scripture reminds us that Jerusalem is more than a physical place. It is a symbol of God's covenant with his people and the hope of redemption and peace. The deliberate destruction of historical evidence not only threatens the understanding of the religious heritage, but also challenges the faith of believers. However, the Bible teaches us that divine truth cannot be permanently suppressed. God will protect his people and his holy places, and divine justice will prevail in the end. The difficulty in systematically excavating Jerusalem, due to its continued occupation, reflects the challenges faced in the search for historical truth. Each layer of earth in the city reveals a chapter of the biblical narrative, a piece of the spiritual puzzle that defines the religious identity of billions of people around the world. The importance of Jerusalem in history and faith cannot be overstated. It is a city where heaven touches earth, where biblical events come to life, and where God's promises are made manifest. The struggle to preserve this heritage is ultimately a struggle for truth, faith, and the collective memory of generations. Delving into the depths of Jerusalem's mysteries, exploring its historical and spiritual complexities, can deepen our understanding of the eternal significance of this holy city. The accumulation of rubble resulting from periodic destruction throughout history has made it difficult to fully understand the complex historical events of Jerusalem. The lack of significant archaeological excavations in the city is due in part to a misunderstanding of historical events, and in part to the harsh environment the city has endured, making archaeological exploration a challenge. The overlap of the three monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, along with the local sensitivities of the different religious traditions, further complicates excavations. These pressures are especially intense in Jerusalem. Excavations by Israeli archaeologists in Jewish areas around the Old City have been seen by some sections of the public as a deliberate attempt to emphasize the historical Jewish connection, often to the detriment of other religions. The dispute over the ownership of the Holy Land continues to be a deeply emotional and divisive issue. In recent years, sites such as the Dome of the Rock, the Mount of Olives, and the Temple Mount have been scenes of violence, hatred, and intolerance. The enmity between Palestinians and Israelis has resulted in the destruction of many religious and archaeological sites, illustrating the ongoing tension in the region. Numerous peace agreements and attempts at truces have failed, and no one seems able to resolve the issue peacefully. Scripture teaches us that Jerusalem is an eternal symbol of God's covenant with His people. However, the overriding of religious traditions and disputes over ownership of the Holy Land reflect an ongoing struggle that transcends history and touches the very heart of faith. The Bible mentions that Jerusalem would be a cup of dizziness to all the nations around it, Zechariah 12:2, and contemporary events seem to echo this prophecy. Despite the difficulties, the importance of Jerusalem in the biblical context cannot be underestimated. It is a city where heaven touches earth, where significant events in the life of Jesus Christ occurred, and where God's promises are made manifest. Preserving Jerusalem's historical and spiritual heritage is essential not only to understanding the past, but also to faith and hope for the future. The tension between archaeological preservation and religious sensibilities requires a balanced and respectful approach. The Holy Bible teaches us to seek peace and reconciliation, and the importance of Jerusalem as a spiritual gathering place for Jews, Christians, and Muslims must be honored. Scripture reminds us that God has a plan for Jerusalem and for all humanity, a plan that will be fulfilled in His perfect timing. Exploring the mysteries of Jerusalem, understanding the complexities of its history, and deepening our understanding of its eternal spiritual significance can transform our worldview and strengthen our faith in God's plan. The challenges faced in preserving Jerusalem's heritage are not merely physical, but also spiritual. The city's role as a symbol of faith and hope for billions around the world underscores the importance of protecting its legacy. The deliberate destruction of artifacts and historical evidence is not just an assault on history, but on the very fabric of faith itself. In the face of these challenges, the Bible assures us that God's truth will endure. His promises to His people and His holy city will stand the test of time. Divine justice will prevail, and the spiritual significance of Jerusalem will continue to inspire and guide believers. The effort to uncover and preserve Jerusalem's history is a testament to the enduring human spirit and the quest for understanding. Each discovery, each piece of the puzzle, brings us closer to a fuller appreciation of the city's role in the divine narrative. Jerusalem's importance is not just historical, but also prophetic. The city's future is intricately linked with the fulfillment of biblical prophecies. As we explore its past, we are reminded of the promises yet to be fulfilled. This anticipation of God's ultimate plan for Jerusalem adds a layer of urgency and significance to the preservation efforts. The city's spiritual heritage is a beacon of hope and a testament to the faithfulness of God's word. The ongoing conflict and tension in Jerusalem reflect the larger spiritual battle described in the Bible. This battle is not just for physical territory, but for the hearts and minds of people. The city's enduring significance in the divine plan underscores the importance of seeking peace and reconciliation. As we strive to preserve its heritage, we are also called to work towards healing and unity, reflecting the peace that God promises to His people. In conclusion, Jerusalem is more than just a city. It is a symbol of faith, hope, and divine promise. Its rich history and spiritual significance make it a focal point for believers around the world. The challenges faced in preserving its heritage are a reflection of the broader spiritual struggles that define our world. As we delve into its mysteries and uncover its truths, we are reminded of the enduring power of faith and the certainty of God's plan. Jerusalem stands as a testament to the enduring covenant between God and His people, a beacon of hope in a world often marked by conflict and division. Through our efforts to preserve its legacy, we honor not just the past, but also the promise of a future where God's truth and justice will prevail.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Forged by centuries of conflict, is a place once believed to be the center of the world.
You are about to embark on a virtual journey to one of the most sacred places on earth.
Nestled within its historic walls, the Church of the Holy Siler has long stood as a beacon of spiritual devotion and a significant historical symbol. Recently, something astonishing happened within its sacred halls. The eyes of the crucifix, which had remained closed for centuries, suddenly opened. This remarkable event has captured the attention of believers and scholars alike, sparking fascinating questions. What could have prompted this miraculous occurrence after so many years? And what deeper significance does it hold for us today? We are Jesus' eternal aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.
What is that? Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. Oh shit, what the fuck was that?
Join us as we delve into a recent miracle in Jerusalem and explore its significance to believers globally. The Church of the Holy Siler, also known as the Church of the Resurrection, stands proudly in the Christian quarter of Jerusalem's Old City. Its origins trace back to the 4th century, and this ancient place holds immense importance for Christians worldwide, revered as the ultimate pilgrimage destination. According to belief, it marks the very spot where Jesus Christ was crucified, buried, and then miraculously resurrected. For centuries, Christians from all corners of the globe have journeyed to this sacred site, drawn by its deep spiritual significance. Remarkably, control over the church has been maintained through a complex arrangement involving various Christian groups and worldly entities. This complicated system has been in place for over 160 years, with some arrangements dating back even further into history. The primary groups responsible for overseeing different sections of the church include the Roman Catholic, Greek Orthodox, and Armenian Apostolic traditions. Additionally, there is involvement from the Coptic, Syriac, and Ethiopian Orthodox churches, albeit to a lesser extent. Each day, these groups conduct Holy Mass within the hallowed halls of this historic sanctuary, ensuring that its sacred purpose endures through the ages. The church in Jerusalem is not just any ordinary building. It is a magnificent structure that holds great historical and religious importance. It is a must-visit for anyone interested in exploring the rich cultural and spiritual heritage of the city. The church is not only a place of worship, but also a hub for tourists seeking to immerse themselves in its fascinating history. During special occasions like Holy Saturday, the church comes alive with various ceremonies, such as the Holy Fire ritual led by the Greek Orthodox Patriarch, accompanied by the Coptic and Armenian Patriarchs. Hidden within the intricate iron latticework of the Coptic chapel lies a sacred altar cherished by the Coptic Orthodox community. In the past, the Georgians held the key to the edicule, a term that will be explained in more detail later. This edicule is a significant part of the church's architecture and history, holding secrets waiting to be uncovered. Recently, This revered sanctuary witnessed an extraordinary event believed by many to be a divine intervention, a celestial manifestation that deeply touched the hearts of pilgrims and believers. This divine sign served as a powerful reminder of the holiness and attraction of the Church, resonating with people from all walks of life. Discovering the origins of the Church of the Holy Sealer is like uncovering a treasure trove of spiritual history. As visitors stand there, gazing at the statue of the Blessed Mother and the site of the crucifixion, they cannot help but feel the weight of its significance. This church was built to enshrine two sacred places, Golgotha, where Jesus was crucified, and where the Blessed Mother stood, symbolizing the importance of both events in the Christian faith. Understanding the context and components of this church is like unlocking the secrets of a miraculous event that took place within its walls. The crucifixion of Jesus took place in Judea during the 1st century, most likely around AD 30 or AD 33. This significant event is detailed in the 4 Gospels of the New Testament and mentioned in epistles supported by various ancient sources. While historians generally agree that the crucifixion occurred, there is some disagreement about certain details. According to the canonical Gospels, Jesus was arrested and put on trial by the Sanhedrin before being sentenced by Pontius Pilate. He was then whipped and crucified by the Romans. His death is described as a sacrificial act to atone for sins. Jesus was stripped of his clothing and given vinegar mixed with myrrh or gall to drink when he expressed thirst. After enduring these trials, he was crucified at Golgotha, positioned between 2 convicted thieves. According to the Gospel of Mark, he died around 3:00 p.m. This event is significant not only for its religious implications, but also for its historical and cultural impact. It continues to be a subject of study, discussion, and interpretation among scholars and believers alike. After Jesus died, a soldier, known in legends as Longinus, thrust his spear into Jesus' side to ensure his passing. This unexpected action resulted in a remarkable flow of both blood and water from the wound, a sign of the finality of Jesus' earthly life. Following this pivotal moment, Joseph of Arimathea, a secret follower of Jesus, took it upon himself to remove Jesus' lifeless body from the cross. With the assistance of Nicodemus, another clandestine disciple, they carefully placed Jesus' body in a tomb carved out of solid rock. This act of devotion, performed under the shadow of darkness, laid the foundation for the awe-inspiring events to come. In the ancient writings of 1 Corinthians 15:4, it is recounted that Jesus miraculously rose from the dead on the 3rd day following his crucifixion. This extraordinary resurrection, shrouded in mystery and wonder, became the cornerstone of the Christian faith. After his resurrection, Jesus made numerous appearances to his bewildered disciples, demonstrating the power of his divine nature and the promise of eternal life. Dating back to the 4th century, the Christian tradition holds 2 sacred sites in profound reverence: Calvary, the rugged hill where Jesus bore the weight of humanity's sins and was crucified, and the tomb where he emerged victorious over death. These sites, once mere Jewish burial grounds, now stand as symbols of hope and redemption for believers around the world, drawing pilgrims from far and wide to experience the profound spiritual significance imbued within their ancient stones. The recent miracle in Jerusalem has reignited the faith of many, reminding them of the enduring power and sanctity of the Church of the Holy Sealer. This extraordinary event has once again highlighted the deep spiritual connection that believers share with this ancient and revered sanctuary, affirming its place as a cornerstone of Christian faith and devotion. The place where Jesus was buried became a site where people worshipped other gods over time. However, a significant event occurred in 312 AD. Constantine the Great, a powerful ruler, experienced a remarkable vision of a cross in the sky. Inspired by this vision, he decided to embrace Christianity, which led to the issuance of the Edict of Milan, a law that officially recognized Christianity and permitted its practice without persecution. During this transformative period, a bishop named Macarius from Jerusalem became deeply interested in locating the tomb where Jesus had been buried. With a burning desire to uncover this sacred site, he sought the assistance and permission of Emperor Constantine. Eusebius, another bishop, played a crucial role in this endeavor. Together, they embarked on an excavation project and discovered 3 crosses near the tomb. Among these crosses, one was believed to possess special healing powers and was identified as the true cross upon which Jesus was crucified. This discovery was monumental, as it confirmed the location of Calvary, the place where Jesus was executed by the Romans. In 326 AD, Constantine ordered the construction of a church at this sacred site. The task of clearing away the accumulated dirt and debris around the cave began, and eventually, a rock-cut tomb was unearthed, believed to be the burial place of Jesus. This church, built in the 4th century by Constantine, stood as a testament to the significance of this holy site. Unfortunately, many years later, in 1009, the church was destroyed by a ruler named Al-Hakim. Moving to another part of Jerusalem, we encounter the majestic Dome of the Rock, a place revered by Muslims, Christians, and Jews alike. This ancient structure, dating back to the late 7th century, holds profound significance as the oldest Islamic edifice. Beneath this remarkable dome lies a startling revelation. A mysterious entity has resided there for millions of years. The Dome of the Rock occupies a prominent position under the Temple Mount, known in Islamic tradition as Al-Haram al-Sharif. This location evokes deep emotions among Muslims and Jews. For Muslims, it is believed to be the site from which Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven during the Miraj, a pivotal religious event. Early writings from the 9th century began to associate this site with Muhammad's miraculous journey, but it wasn't until the 11th century that the Dome of the Rock gained widespread recognition. Despite its ancient origins, much about the dome's original purpose remains shrouded in mystery. Historical records lack detailed information about its construction, leaving scholars to speculate about its true intent. The dome's unique architectural style, which deviates from typical mosque designs, suggests a deliberate effort to blend Islamic aesthetics with the broader Abrahamic religious heritage. As a result, the Dome of the Rock stands not only as a physical marvel, but also as a symbol of the rich tapestry of faiths interwoven throughout Jerusalem's history. The inspiration for this intricate structure may have been drawn from ancient Byzantine designs, such as the nearby octagonal Church of the Mother of God, which was uncovered in 1992. It appears that the architects aimed to surpass prominent Christian landmarks in Jerusalem, such as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The Arabic inscriptions on the dome express a strict monotheistic belief, contrasting with Christian teachings. Some historians speculate that Al-Malik, the ruler behind its construction, intended it as an alternative pilgrimage site to the Kaaba. However, contemporary scholars cast doubt on this theory due to potential biases in historical accounts. Another interpretation suggests a deeper spiritual significance, linking the dome to Islamic and Byzantine beliefs surrounding the Day of Judgment. This implies a higher purpose beyond mere physical presence. Beneath the surface of the Dome of the Rock lies a concealed chamber, harboring mysteries that have puzzled humanity for centuries. Archaeologists have gradually unearthed artifacts that challenge our understanding of history, including an ancient manuscript adorned with symbols surpassing linguistic barriers. The significance of these discoveries goes beyond their physical presence. They prompt a profound shift in our understanding of the past. As we unravel the secrets hidden beneath the Dome of the Rock, our perception of history becomes muddled, forcing us to reconsider narratives we once thought immutable. Returning to the story of the Holy Sepulchre and Calvary, we find that the church and its surroundings were later rebuilt with changes made by Emperor Constantine IX and alterations by the Crusaders. These modifications diverged from the original design, resulting in a structure enclosed within a 19th century shrine known as the edicule. This significant landmark houses the tomb of Jesus, which remains a central focus for countless pilgrims. Within this church lie the last 4 stations of the Via Dolorosa, representing the final moments of Jesus' suffering. Since its establishment in the 4th century, this site has drawn numerous pilgrims, symbolizing Christ's resurrection. The church is also known as the Church of the Anastasis, meaning resurrection in Greek. Archaeologists have recently uncovered the contents of the edicule, offering a rare opportunity to glimpse into the past and see the original bedrock where Jesus is believed to have been laid after his crucifixion, according to the New Testament. Golgotha, also known as the place of the skull, is the site where Jesus was crucified. It is believed to have been located in an area of stone quarries outside the city walls. Around a decade after Jesus' crucifixion, a 3rd wall was built around the area where he was crucified and buried, incorporating it within the city limits of Jerusalem. This historical fact adds credibility to the idea that the Holy Sepulchre, a sacred site in present-day Jerusalem, is indeed where these events took place. The church that now stands there holds both the spot where Jesus was crucified, known as Calvary, and his burial site. This church, called the Martyrium, is a grand basilica. It was consecrated in 335 AD, and its original wooden doors from 326 AD remain, showcasing its ancient grandeur. Visitors entering the church ascend a staircase to Calvary, the site of Jesus' crucifixion, which is adorned with lavish decorations. This site has continued to be a place of profound significance for Christians around the world, embodying the central events of the Christian faith and serving as a pilgrimage destination for believers seeking to connect with the history and spirituality of Jesus' life and sacrifice. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, a site of profound significance for Christians, is filled with intricate details and legends that enrich its sacred nature. One such pathway leads visitors down to an area known as the ambulatory. This part of Calvary is divided into 2 chapels, one Greek Orthodox and the other Catholic. In the Greek Orthodox chapel, the altar is notably placed on the rock of Calvary itself, recognized as the 12th station of the cross. Through a special hole in the floor, visitors have the unique opportunity to touch this sacred rock. Beneath the Golgotha chapel on the ground floor lies the Chapel of Adam. According to legend, Jesus was crucified directly above the burial place of Adam's skull. This legend adds another layer of significance to the Holy Sepulchre. Some historical records suggest that when Jesus was crucified, his blood dripped down the cross and seeped into the rocks below, eventually filling up the skull-shaped cavity known as Adam's skull. This tale, which dates back to the 11th century, remains a popular belief among visitors to certain religious sites. One such place is a church where tourists can catch a glimpse of the rocky hill of Calvary, said to have a crack believed to have been caused by an earthquake at the time of Jesus' death. However, scholars debate whether this crack was caused naturally or resulted from quarrying activities. Inside the church, a statue of Mary is positioned between the Catholic and Greek altars, symbolizing the 13th station of the cross, a significant moment in the crucifixion story. Near the church entrance lies the Stone of Anointing, also known as the Stone of Unction. According to tradition, this is where Joseph of Arimathea prepared Jesus' body for burial. This tradition gained prominence during the time of the Crusades and was notably documented by an Italian Dominican pilgrim named Rico Damon de Croce in 1288. The current stone was put in place during the rebuilding of 1810. The wall behind it, covered in bright blue tiles with red banners showing the symbol of the Brotherhood of the Holy Sepulchre, stands out. Lamps light up the area, and a new mosaic on the wall tells the story of Jesus being prepared for burial. On one side of the mosaic, Jesus is taken down from the cross. On the other side, he is buried. Initially, the wall was only meant to be temporary, but had to be built stronger to support the arch above it after it was damaged in a fire in 1808. Now, it separates the entrance from the main church area and sits on top of 4 old graves from the time of the Crusades. Despite its initial temporary purpose, people still debate whether it should be considered the 13th station of the cross, with some saying it represents Jesus being taken down from the cross. It sits between the 11th and 12th stations on the hill of Calvary. The lamps above the stone of unction are not just ordinary lamps. They are adorned with chain links bearing crosses and have been generously donated by Armenians, Copts, Greeks, and Latins. Hanging above the stone is an intricate stand embellished with lamps, candles, and incense, creating a truly remarkable sight. The church also boasts a rotunda, a grand dome located on the far western side. At the center of the rotunda lies a small chapel known as the edicule, a term derived from Latin meaning a small shrine. Inside the edicule, there are 2 chambers. One chamber houses a revered relic called the Angel's Stone, believed to be a fragment of the stone that sealed Jesus' tomb. The other chamber is a smaller room containing the tomb of Jesus. To prevent pilgrims from taking fragments of the original rock as keepsakes, a layer of marble cladding was added to the tomb in 1555. In October 2016, the top marble slab was removed, revealing an older, partly damaged marble slab beneath it. This older slab bore a striking Crusader-style cross carving. Beneath the slabs, the limestone burial bed remained untouched. Adjacent to the rotunda, on the northwestern edge, lies the Chapel of the Apparition, a place exclusively designated for Roman Catholic worship. This adds another layer of spiritual significance to the church's rich history. On March 22, 2017, a special ceremony took place at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre to celebrate the completion of the conservation, restoration, and rehabilitation of the edicule. The event was attended by important guests, including a delegation from Armenia, led by Foreign Minister Edward Nalbandian and the Prime Minister of Greece, Alexis Tsipras. Many other dignitaries from different countries, leaders of Christian churches, and numerous pilgrims also joined the occasion. That same morning, Edward Nalbandian visited the Armenian Patriarchate of Jerusalem and had a meeting with Patriarch Archbishop Nurhan Manougian. Following their discussions, a procession led by Patriarch Manougian and Minister Nalbandian made its way to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. There, a solemn ceremony was held to commemorate the restoration of the edicule, the small shrine at Golgotha where Jesus was crucified. At Golgotha, the site of the Lord's crucifixion, there is an altar beneath which pilgrims can pay their respects to the exact spot where the Lord's cross was planted in the ground. Above the altar hangs a crucifix showing the crucified Lord with closed eyes. This crucifix is the main decoration of the altar, serving as a reminder to both the celebrant and the congregation that the sacrifice made on the altar is the same as the one made on the cross. In Christian worship, the crucifix holds significant importance. It is essential to always place the crucifix on the altar whenever Mass is celebrated, as directed in the Constitution Emis by Pope Benedict XV on July 16, 1746. This directive underscores the profound connection between the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross and the celebration of the Eucharist in Christian liturgy. According to the Roman Missals guidelines, the crucifix should be prominently positioned at the center of the altar, nestled between the candlesticks. It must be large enough to be easily seen by both the celebrant and the congregation. If the crucifix is removed for any reason, a temporary replacement should be placed in a lower but still visible position for all attendees of the Mass. Interestingly, while a crucifix is typically required on the altar during Mass, there are notable exceptions to this rule. One such exception is when the crucifixion is the main feature of the altarpiece, or the picture behind the altar. This exception is specific and only applies when the crucifixion itself is the primary focus, not just depictions of saints holding a crucifix or kneeling before a cross. Another special circumstance arises when the Most Blessed Sacrament is displayed, whether in a church or another setting. In these cases, there is some flexibility regarding the crucifix's placement. While it is customary to place the standard crucifix on the altar, local traditions might dictate variations. If the crucifix remains on the altar, it should not be censored. In the early days of Christianity, before the reign of Emperor Constantine in the 4th century, believers were cautious about openly displaying the cross due to fears of ridicule and persecution. However, the landscape of Christian symbolism changed significantly after Constantine's conversion to Christianity. Constantine not only abolished crucifixion as a form of execution, but also encouraged the use of the cross and the Chi-Rho monogram as symbols of the Christian faith. These symbols soon became widespread in Christian art and funerary monuments around 350 AD. Following Constantine's reign, Christians began to focus on the cross as a symbol of Christ's triumph over evil and death, rather than a detailed depiction of his suffering. The earliest crucifixes portrayed Christ as alive, with eyes open and arms outstretched, emphasizing his divinity despite bearing wounds. However, as artistic styles evolved into the 9th century, artists began to depict Christ's suffering and death more realistically. This shift led to Western representations of the crucifixion becoming more detailed and emotive, showcasing heightened levels of pain and agony. Initially, in Romanesque crucifixes, Christ was often depicted wearing a regal crown, symbolizing his kingship. However, as artistic styles progressed into the Gothic period, the crown of thorns became the dominant symbol, emphasizing Christ's sacrifice and suffering. Fast forward to the 20th century, a new trend emerged in Roman Catholicism, particularly in the portrayal of liturgical crucifixes. In these depictions, Christ is shown as a crowned and vested king and priest, with less emphasis on the physical marks of his suffering. This shift in representation highlights a different aspect of Christ's identity, focusing more on his divine authority and role as a spiritual leader. Despite these changes in artistic interpretation, the crucifix remains a powerful symbol in Christianity, integral to practices such as exorcisms. Its enduring significance reflects the central role of Christ's sacrifice and redemption in the faith. On a significant Wednesday, March 29th, an extraordinary event unfolded within the revered Church of the Holy Siler in Jerusalem, a place held sacred by Christians worldwide. Father Theodore Dodd, the custodian of this historic church, witnessed an event that stirred the hearts of those present. In the early hours of that fateful day, Father Theodore noticed a remarkable occurrence. The eyes of the crucifix icon positioned above the altar, where Jesus Christ is believed to have been crucified, began to emit a luminous glow. These eyes, which had been sealed shut for as long as anyone could remember, suddenly opened, captivating all who beheld them. Father Theodore, along with numerous priests and visitors, stood in awe as they witnessed this divine spectacle. The eyes remained open throughout the day, an inexplicable phenomenon that defied rational explanation. Moved by what he had experienced, Father Theodore took to social media on April 1st to share a gripping account of the miraculous event. His narrative captivated the hearts and minds of countless individuals, both within the church and beyond. This unexpected occurrence sparked fervent discussions among believers, igniting a renewed sense of faith and reverence for the Church of the Holy Siler. It was a moment that reaffirmed the spiritual significance of this sacred place, leaving an indelible mark on all who were fortunate enough to witness it. Father Theodore tells the story of his friend Arander Malisbas, who managed to capture this remarkable moment in vivid detail through photographs. In his account, Father Theodore describes how the crucified Christ, typically depicted with closed eyes in icons, appeared with eyes wide open, defying the usual portrayal. This extraordinary sight left a lasting impression on all who witnessed it, leaving an indelible mark on their minds. Early the next day, on March 30th, Archimandrite Malakos shared these pictures on his Facebook page, expressing his awe by writing, "Wondrous art thou, O Lord, in thy saints." The cross of Golgotha opened its eyes. This is the first time this has happened. The crucified Lord on Golgotha always has his eyes closed, but today, for some reason, he miraculously opened his eyes. Father Theodore added that since the original post, they have received a variety of comments and feedback. Some sources affirm the miracle, citing contacts in Jerusalem, while others claim it has been denied by the Holy See. Regardless of the debate, the event underscores the countless miracles believed to have occurred in the Holy Land, the very place where the Lord lived, walked, died, and rose again for our salvation. They are open to the idea that God may continue to bless His church through miracles,